What's happening, gang? How is everyone doing this fine Sunday morning? Don't forget, say something nice to someone, do something nice for someone, be the light you would like to see shining through others. And so we've got a couple people in here so far. How is everyone doing? We've got no one in the comments. Ooh. We've got a poll going. Looks like we got 5 votes in the poll so far. What is the best Little People faction? The Lollipop Guild with 0 votes. The Keebler Elves with 20%. The Leprechauns with 20%. And the Watch Community with 60% of the vote. Good morning, Logan Hall. What's up, Logan? How are you? So, on the screen is breakfast. Of course, we start every show with my breakfast. So, I made a Mexican Eggs Benedict. So, I whipped up some guacamole. I topped that with some spicy chorizo, poached eggs, and a chipotle hollandaise. Served it with some sweet and savory corn cakes. It was pretty delicious. Not gonna lie. It was a pretty good breakfast. Logan, did you make anything good yesterday? Anything? I didn't see anything, any pics or anything, but I may just have missed it. I don't know. I just don't know. What's going on, guys? What's happening in the world? We got 8 people in right now. We'll hang out here a little bit, make sure that before we get started. So you guys know the whole breakfast thing started because of that. So I started showing the breakfast because when I started doing those community streams every day, there'd just be a couple people in the watching the show at the very beginning. So I started putting up a little food so that Logan has maybe I'm not subscribed to that. Jeez, burnt ends. I love burnt ends. I bet your burnt ends are great too. Burnt ends are good. So yeah, I started showing food just to talk about that until people started kind of filtering into the show every day. And that's how the breakfast thing all came about, in case you were curious. So Logan says, I did a grilling live stream. Make sure you're subscribed. Brisket and burnt ends with grilled corn and baby tomato. What's the name of your channel? Go over and see if I can find it on the Watch Community. Are you on what are they calling it now? The Watch? No, I don't see it on there. For some reason, they still have me at the bottom of there, even though I don't know. That leads to another theory that I have. We'll get into later, but yeah, Logan, what is type in the name of your channel, and I'll grab the link for it and put it in. So, Helgestrand, it looks like the Watch Colony has renamed themselves. I'm not sure what that was all about. I'm really not on the insider list there. But it looks like they are named the Watch Community Channel now. We'll go back over that page here real quick so you guys can see that. So, yes, they are the Watch Community Channel. Yeah, they even changed the URL here. We'll drop a link for it in case anybody got ousted from it. I'm not sure why. Although the Watch Community was the Watch Community was a better name, if that makes sense. It seemed to mean more. But what are you gonna do? Um, I don't even know. We'll go look. I don't even know. Is there still a watch community channel? Not the watch community channel, which is what I'm posting here. Because I noticed it was changed and it made it when I clicked the Watch Colony link, it said page no longer available or something like that. And then I found it. I don't know how I found it. I'm not even sure what it was. But somehow it appeared, and I saw the Uncle Sam, and I was like, well, that looks like, and it was. Looks like maybe a few less videos. I'm not sure. I don't know why they changed it. But being someone who's changed the name of his channel 3 times in the last, 8 weeks or whatever, I get it. Back to Luchabetic Mark. I kind of got catfished into the Luchabetic Armory, but those guys disappeared and whatever. So now we're back to Luchabetic Mark. You're stuck with the Luchabetic. But anyway, going back to this, let's share this. So yeah, they changed the name. It looks like they didn't really change very much else. All this kind of looks similar, I think. But it's still just Watch Talk with a twist. But let's take a look. Is there an actual watch community still? Because honestly, it's been a while since I went back over there. There's the UK watch community. Is there no more watch community? That was Tim's other channel. And there's the UK watch community, which we dropped the link for last week. I believe they go Monday nights around 3:30, Monday afternoons 3:30 US Eastern. But I don't know. Let's see. I see the TV show community. I was okay. I watched it for a couple seasons. I didn't fully get it. All right. So I don't know what would make that. Let's see. I haven't typed this in a while. Let's see if Tim Wright is still a thing. Does he have a link? Yeah, Tim Wright's still a thing. He does not have a link to the Watch community page anymore. Interesting. If he did, I don't remember. It's been so long. I don't remember, honestly. Was it called the Watch Community or was it called the Community Channel? I can't remember. Was it just called the Community? I thought it was called the Watch Community. Here we go. Just farting around. No, Community seems to be just the TV show. Don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe Tim took that channel down. I don't think it really cost him anything, but I don't think that. I don't know that they had been using it. The last time I checked, they hadn't been. But now the community is the Watch Community is the Watch Community channel with 100 videos and featured channels of Mookie, the original OC, Diego M, the Watch Hangout, JJ's show, and for some reason the Luchabetic Mark. Huh, interesting. Okay, Logan Hall's got some in the Watch Community was rebranded to the UK Watch Community, which gave the Colony the opportunity to rebrand back to the Watch Community. So there you go. Watch Community is a better name. I like the Colony, but the Colony was good when they broke away because it had a little, the little extra meaning there, a little double entendre, if you will. But the Watch Community is better. I often find myself saying the Watch Community, the greater Watch Community, those types of phrases. So I think that works. So good for them for getting that back. But yes, there is your watch community page. Interesting. So I made this last night for dinner, if anyone cares. This was a meatballs and a pomodoro sauce over polenta, and added some parm and some garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper to the polenta, along with a little salt. It was delicious. I have some leftover polenta, so if you're on my Instagram, the Luchabetic Mark, check out tonight because I have to use some leftovers. I have some broccolini left, obviously, because that wasn't very much I cooked last night. But my meatballs were kind of dense, so it was still tasty. I also threw a big thing of burrata cheese in the middle there because burrata cheese is delicious. It makes everything better. And some garlic toast. But yeah, that was a good meal. But I need to repurpose some leftover polenta. I just made the whole thing because I was like, wow, there's this thing I want to make also, which I'll make a big batch of and take for lunch the next couple days, and we'll go from there. We will go from there. But yeah, so the food is a delish. I also made the other day. I made Baja shrimp tacos too. Those also delicious. I made a spicy black bean and some street corn with it. But the star of the show was, of course, the Baja shrimp tacos. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Logan, did you grab me the name of your grill stream or where we can find it? I'd love to share that with the good folks, all 11 of you who have shown up so far. Like, take a look at that. I also want to take a look at a watch article that I did not understand. Did we need this watch, really? I don't know. You tell me. We'll go look at it. What is going on with my YouTube and such? So, yeah, maybe we won't do it on YouTube. Maybe we'll have to do it on All Watch News. Because this new, every time I click on something, it must have something to do with this community channel name. It keeps flipping me to can't find that channel. And I'm like, I'm not even trying to find that channel. So why would I care about finding it? It looks like everything's changed. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll head over to All Watch News and take a peek at something that I was like, why is this a thing? Let's play Why Is This a Thing? And today's issue of Why Is This a Thing, we're going to head over to All Watch News and a blog to watch, which gives us an article on the new release Tissot PRX Powermatic 80 Forged Carbon Watch. Was anyone asking for this? I mean, the PRX in general is a great watch. It's a great value piece. It does, a lot for the money. It's got a great look. And I'm not saying that this is terrible looking or anything. I just don't understand why this is necessary. So the PRX series forged carbon. The Powermatic 80 40 millimeter name is it's sibling the new forged carbon model is actually a 0.5 millimeter larger than its stainless steel counterparts, with a diameter of 40.5 and a length of 40 millimeters. The lug-to-lug of 40 is deceiving, though, because it is an integrated bracelet watch, so it fits a lot bigger in general. I sold my Legend Diver again. I don't know. They came out with that new one. I actually tossed around the idea of getting the new one, but it's a 39, which I don't, or 38 or 39, which I don't like as much, but I like the dial better. I'm actually trying to see if I can find a newer or a older Legend Diver, no date, in the 42. Because I like that no date layout. I like the loom and there's a lot I like about the new dial. I may head up to Cleveland in a few weeks to check out Teddy Baldassar's store, and they are having a Longines event. I talked to Will up there the other day, who called me with some details about it. And Saturday, if you have an invite for it, or you can get a hold of someone up there, Saturday Teddy will be there, and they'll have like hors d'oeuvres and drinks and stuff. Sunday, they're also having the Longines show itself, but Teddy and the food and stuff won't be there. I work on Saturday, so I will probably head up on Sunday, and see what's going on there. But back to our, oh yeah, Elves, he's owned it twice and sold it too. Yeah, the polarizing watch. It's the watch that I like, and then I get tired of, and I don't know what to do with it. So this watch is forged carbon. Do we need a forged carbon PRX? Do you like a forged carbon PRX? Let's ask that first. Does anybody like this watch? I mean, it looks like a little bit sportier PRX, I guess. I mean, it's not a bad rubber strap on there. I mean, they do a lot of good. $9.95. So like a regular PRX is now right around $700, I think. This one's going for $9.95 in the forged carbon. I don't know. Has the PRX lost some of its luster and appeal because of the Christopher Ward 12? That is yet another question about when we're getting into the topic there, because here, let me pull this up. And this is actually like if I was looking for a integrated bracelet watch just to wear every once in a while to make it wasn't gonna be like a primary wear or anything. I mean, they're nice. I had that Defy Skyline for a while. I've had PRXs. I've had three or four PRXs in my life. Oh, there's the new Luminaire. I mean, Christopher Ward does some interesting things. But I mean, here's that big moon phase, the Perpetual Lunacy. Yeah, they did the Bel Canto straps for less. But there's let's check out these 12s. Are these all the titanium ones? These are the titanium ones. And the skeletons. Let's get out of titanium and go to steel. That's going to compare more to the thing. So those things are going around $700, I believe, for a new PRX. It looks like this stainless steel 12 is between $9.95 on a rubber strap, and you get the ice cream $12.38 for $12.75, but general around $12.25 on the bracelet. They've done a lot with their bracelet. Here's of late. I think gray's nice. The blue's nice. Let's see what else we got here in the 12. You have two different sizes. So you can do the 40 millimeter, the 30. Oh, three now. It's 40, 36, and 38. It looks like these 38s come with both straps. I guess these are called the ice cream 12s because there's a kind of an orangey one. Up here was a green, bright green. I actually kind of like the ice blue, the gray, some of the purples. I like some of the titaniums. It's just in the titanium ones you're getting up around $2,000. Now you're getting a chronometer grade movement as well that you're not getting in the standard 12. But I don't know. Is that worth that much money? Yeah, but I kind of like this ice blue or glacier blue, I guess they call it. Yeah, I just say they've done a nice job with it. It's grown on me. I think the bracelet is better than the PRX, but it's $500-600 more too. So then you have to factor that into your decision for a kind of a integrated sports bracelet watch, like on an introductory level. You know what I mean? I mean, it just kind of becomes, is it cost prohibitive? Are they pricing it? Is it a little bit priced out with what you can get a PRX for? I don't know. In PRX, you're getting the Powermatic 80 movement. This, you're getting the Salida, I believe, an SW200, isn't it? Let's take a peek at the specs. I mean, they both have open case backs. I mean, they're not great or anything. They're kind of entry level watches, but yeah, it's a SW200-1 automatic, 26 joules, 4 hertz frequency, 38-hour power reserve on this, but you're also at 4 hertz. So on the Powermatic 80 in the PRX, you have an 80-hour power reserve, but they slow that beat rate down to like, what do they slow that thing down to? Like 22 something, I think. So that's how they get it. I kind of prefer the dial on this. Just seems to have a little bit more depth, although I've never seen one in person. So that is pure conjecture on my part, because of that. But who knows? Who can really tell? Dear Artifact says, I choose the Keebler Elves. You get cookies and you get to hang out in cool tree houses. I think they're the winners as well. I mean, the leprechaun, you got to catch that little bastard to get the pot of gold. I mean, you can have some lucky charms, I guess, or a scary movie. But the Keebler Elves in general just kind of hang out and bake cookies, Maybe they can make some Splenda sugar-free cookies for me. You never know. Who is to say, really? But yes, I agree. The Keebler Elves are the way to go because they make cookies in a tree. No matter what you pick, you're looking at some elven magic, right? Although the watch community is filled with some very short people. Now, I do have a theory there. So it looks like right now we're at 61% for the watch community, 11% for the leprechauns, 22% for the Keebler Elves, and 6% for the Lollipop Guild. So the Lollipop Guild has actually come on the screen. Are you guys familiar with what the Lollipop Guild is? Some of you younger guys. I mean, I'm sure you've seen The Wizard of Oz. The Lollipop Guild are the Munchkin tough guys with lollipops that welcome Dorothy to Munchkinland. They'd like to welcome her to Munchkinland. But yeah, so those are your choices there. So I have this theory. Let me go back to this. Let's go back to this real quick. All right. So you see down the bottom here, I'm not sure about Mookie because I've never seen him. And I know, and oddly enough, I'm still on this featured channels thing. But despite my antagonism and trying to get taken off of there, but most of these, like you said, I don't know Mookie. Now I'm 6'1". I'm not like super tall or anything like that, but I believe America, I've heard, is very tall, which would, in a way, make him like the Wizard of Oz. And that what he's done is he set up this channel, and he set up Mathis as like the de facto president of the channel, but it's really America behind the green curtain. And what he's done is he set himself up with some not so tall people to run his auxiliary community of channels. So he's like the Wizard of Oz, and they're like the munchkins and flying monkeys and stuff like that. All those characters, all the smaller characters, with America hovering over everyone, saying, running the show, if you will, running the show. Oh, sorry, I meant to hit this, but it is Watch Talk with a twist. I didn't even realize that there was an anonymous donation link via GoDaddy. I had no idea that was even there. So I looked at that today. I don't know if that's how long that's been there for. I can't imagine that they would have. They've got to have enough views and videos, and 101,000 views, 898 subscribers. They should be able to monetize this channel. I don't know why. From what I learned a couple weeks ago, as far as what goes into making a channel monetization eligible. I don't know. You guys tell me. But I believe that the whole thing is yes, they point you in the direction of the wizard in the Emerald City. Exactly. And I think that's what we have going on here. I think America is the wizard behind the green curtain. Now, he won't come out and say that he owns the channel or anything like that, but it seems like an America thing. And then you have Mathis as the de facto, the face of leadership. And then you have, like OC and Diego and Boston, as your Munchkin army, if you will. I don't know. I could be totally off. I don't think I am. For right now, we're going to go with that's a fact. And when we brand something as a fact, we get an evil lucha. That's what happens. That's the way the channel works. We love a good evil lucha. What about some evil, or not evil, but well, they call them midget wrestlers still. I don't think that you're allowed to say midget anymore. I think you have to say little people. But I think in wrestling they still call them the midgets. So much for that. I'm not sure. But yes, I believe that there's that what we see here is indeed the legions. So I'm curious how tall Mookie is. I've met OC. OC's not very tall. I believe OC to be taller than Diego. I believe Boston's around that kind of height from the pictures I've seen. I don't, JJ's in there, and that just maybe is an olive branch to the greater verse, as is the Lucha unaffiliated. But what are you gonna do? what are you going to do? What do you guys think of the forged carbon Tissot PRX and the Christopher Ward 12? Christopher Ward will say, I mean, quite, they're not afraid to say that this is really based on Gerald Genta designs. They actually have a designer from Chopek that came over to them. So when you see like the Gerald Genta inspiration and you see the Antarctique inspiration, that's the way it's supposed to be. So lug to lug on this one's 44.5. So this is going to wear even a little bit bigger, I think, than a PRX in the 40 millimeter size. But like I said, it looks like they're making two other sizes for you. So you have a 36 and 38. Hard part is it's hard to find these to try them on, especially in the States. But if I wanted another integrated bracelet watch, I may go for something like this. I like the color. Every video I've seen on it, it's been decent looking watch. I mean, for $12.25 to get a Salida. Now, if you go with the let's see what it's still an SW200. If you go with the titanium, you do get, obviously, to pay $600 more. First off, you have different color choices. Kind of that fume now, but in the 40, they have what's called astral blue, nebula purple, aurora green. Let's pull this one up, take a look at the movement specs. It's an SW300 COSC certified automatic. And you're bumping up your power reserve from 38 hours to 56 hours. This one's still vibrating at 4 hertz. So you're getting a chronometer tested movement and titanium in a titanium case and bracelet for basically $600. I don't know. Is there any value in that? Let's see. BW says, I own both the Christopher Ward, not the 12, and the PRX. By far, the Christopher Ward is the better piece. Much better than other $1,200 watches. I've heard that a lot. I owned one Christopher Ward. It was a what was it, a C60 hashtag Tide. It was a cool watch, but it was not. It had that wave case. Let me see if I can find it and show it to you. Let's see. Wow. Type stuff into their website. Maybe not. Maybe they don't make it anymore. Let's go to dive watches. And it was I think it was a 42, so it should be with the bigger. Maybe it wasn't. Huh, maybe it was a 41. Or maybe they just don't make the damn thing anymore. I'll have to find my own picture of it. Which is a pain in the butt sometimes. Dig through my Instagram because I have so many pictures, so much food. No, they must not make that watch anymore. Which is cool. It was a C60 hashtag Tide. It had the illuminated wave dial, which seemed like it was really cool at the time that I bought the damn thing, but then it kind of wore off very quickly. Hello, Marcelo. Good night, Marcelo. Johnson, EDC in the house. Good to see Johnson. I don't know if you're listening and traveling or if you're watching. I'm not sure. If anybody does want to join the panel, the link is pinned at the top. Let's see. Logan Hall says OC and I are pretty much the same height. Yeah. And I'm just having fun with you guys, you know. Um, but yeah, so let's go back to the Instagram and see if I can't find a picture of that damn watch. Annoying. Oh, there's the Mexican eggs Benedict again. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. I got an idea for kind of more of a brunch next week than a true breakfast, but hey, it's hard to come up with these ideas for you guys. I mean, got a lot going on. Well, this would have been a while back, so. Oh, wait, here. Let's see. Looks like Philadelphia. So, let's see. There's Evan. There we go. There's OC on the far right. Lucky bastard, Tony, me, and Evan. Check out my kicks. My Air Jordan or my Nike Airs. Sorry, not Air Jordans. One of my pairs. I like 3 or 4 pairs of this, but it was one of my favorite. But I've been a lot of watches. I don't know if you guys remember this or anybody watched the Christmas show, but my brother was nice enough because of the type 1 diabetes and my pancreas not working very well to buy me a pancreas because he asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I said, I'd like a new pancreas. So he actually found a pancreas keychain from myheartguts.com. I thought that was kind of cool. Fun. Let's see here. God, I wonder how far I have to go back. God, I made a lot of food for you guys. Well, this was my anniversary for this was just the other day because that was my first day at Three Rivers. Good times. Dear Lord, take a lot of watch pictures too. A lot of dog pictures, a lot of food pictures. There it is. That's a video, but you get the idea. See the wave pattern dial? So that was an illuminated dial, but the watch itself was really nice. The dial got boring really fast. They had a little bit of an issue with their customer service department, but we finally got over that. It was a ceramic bezel watch. I mean, it was a solid kit. It was chronometer certified, and it was actually a pretty nice watch, all things being equal. That was the Christopher Ward C60 hashtag high. You see how it's kind of a see-through front, but those waves illuminated. So it was kind of cool from that standpoint. I think that watch was a 41 or a 42. It's hard to remember. I think it was I think it was like a 41 with like a 50 lug to lug. It was a bigger watch on their site compared to some of the others, but it was a nice piece. Oh, BW sent a pic. Johnson, let's see. Catch up on the chat. Johnson said we were supposed to be in Montana, but we all got COVID, and then Johnson. Oh, geez. Yeah, it is going around again. Had some people with the COVID. So he's watching from home. Good to see. Good. Give the dogs a good hug and a pet for me. And again, we have to do a non gun EDC show. I'd like to do a little bit more knives if we can. I think that's fun. Since I've always got, it just seems like everywhere I sit or go or bag, I have some kind of knife sitting around. I like them. While we're doing that, let me pull up BW's Christopher Ward picture. Ah, that's good looking. Hold on. Check this out. Is that's a GMT? Is that a Sealander GMT BW? Trying to remember. It's hard to remember all of the stuff. That's BW's Christopher Ward. But they do a nice job with their watch. They really do for the money. I mean, you get a lot of watch for a lot of bang for your buck, if you will, on something like that. And again, the easiest way if you want something featured or you want to show us something, luchabetic@gmail.com. It gets a little confusing on the Instagram because there's two Instagrams. I can only pull one up on this computer because it's been giving me fits, especially since the channel was taken down and stuff. Or actually, because this goes back to when I started to take things down. I was going to quit, and people were like, "Don't quit," but I quit. And then people were like, "Let's make a different show. Let's make an armory show." And then those guys bugged out. And here we are, looking at a Christopher Ward. BW, is that a C? Let me see. Let's go over to watches. Shop all. See if we can't just pull up the GMTs. Automatic GMT. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. Maybe a C65 Aquatine, because it kind of looks like this. I think that is the watch. That is the Christopher Ward C65 Aquatine. Let me share this tab. Father Artifact, I have been remiss in my hosting duties. How could I possibly forget the Oompa Loompas? They have the best song, you know. Jeez. BW said they have any idea watch it. Models, I have no idea which one this is. That's it. Yeah. So that's a C65 Aquatine GMT. That's a nice looking watch. Is that a? It's hard to tell what the bezel is. Let me see if I can find it. So that's a SW330 GMT movement in that one. Again, 4 hertz. That one is not Cossack certified. What is the sapphire bezel? Yeah, that's cool. That's why it looks so vintagey. Yeah, that's very, very, very cool. Does it get much wear time, BW? It's good looking. But I think they make a lot of good looking watches. I really do. I think that they do for the price point. I always, I tell people who are just getting into watch or just want a one watch and they want something, they don't want to spend a ton of money on it. I always recommend, obviously the PRX because you can go to a store and buy one. A Seiko because you can go to a store and buy one. They make so much, but they make so many. But the Christopher Ward's another one. I always tell people, like, you find a Christopher Ward now, you have to. When I bought mine, it took a while to get it shipped over, and it's just because it's coming from England, so it's hard to find them in the States. Whoa, BW, no way. So his wife loves this, but it's way too big for her, he says. But this was 100% discount piece. Like your which one was it that you had the 100% discount on? Now I'm trying to. Oh, your Polaris was 100% discount watch. I don't know. Anthony, do you work at Joyce's Jewelers? I don't know much about them. But yeah, so that was another 100% discount piece. Yeah, I remember the story of the JLC when they sent you the memo box by accident. You sent it back. They credited you, sent you the Polaris date. Do you still have your Polaris? Anthony says it's his go-to for Omega. All right. Do they have good deals? He says he bought and paid for it. 6 months later, they refunded me. That's a bad business model. I think we might have talked about this at one point. I can't remember. Sorry, BW have the best free watch collection going. We've got 19 people watching this garbage. Oh dear Lord. Does no one have anything to do today? It's hard to understand. Do we have any upvotes? Got a lot of stuff cleaned up from last week, and let's see. We got 15 upvotes. So if you haven't hit the upvote, please do. We do appreciate a good upvote. Smash that like button. He says, yes, Fairwood trades too. I used to go to Henny, but even before the... Oh, Anthony, you're a Pittsburgh guy. Are you talking about Joyce's? Are they in like the Uniontown area? Because they may be the only Omega dealer left in Pittsburgh. I think I contacted them about service. I have never been there, but you know what? Let's look them up because I think it was a nice store too. If I remember when I looked them up to inquire about servicing a watch. Uniontown, PA. I believe that's what we are discussing. Joyce's Jewelry. There it is. Boom. Wonder which one's Joyce. So it's a traditional jewelry store, so they would be an Omega AD. Yeah, okay. So cool. No, I definitely, it is on my list to go check it out. I just don't make it down that way that often. But I normally do around Christmas because they have some cool antique shops and stuff in Uniontown. Are you from that area? Well, there was an Italian restaurant there that was really good. It was kind of old school looking with checkered tablecloths and stuff. Melonies, something like that. I didn't go last year because that was a thing that Michelle and I used to do. Oh, I've heard of this place too. I think I ate there once too. Yeah. So this is Joyce's. So he says that they give good trade-ins, and so they carry Breitling, Bulova, Michelle, Norqain. Oh, they have Norqain, Omega, Oris, Shinola, Wolf. Let's see what they got in Omegas. I don't know if they're just showing the entire catalog or this is what they have. I think this might be what they have. Let's see what this does. I guess we are viewing. Yeah, it's good to find someone with a. Okay, you live in Mount Lebanon. Cool. And they have a ton of pre-owned. Okay, so I work at the corner of Brookline and West Liberty Avenue. So traveling through Mount Lebanon all the time. My friends at David Allen Clothing, we had Krista on Super Bowl Sunday, it might have been, or the week before the Super Bowl. But they do, a lot. They do nice stuff. They just opened their new location in Mount Lebanon up there. I just stopped up, but nobody I knew was working that day. They were all off doing weddings and stuff. So, but it was nice to see the new store, because the old store was on Mount Washington. It was a little smaller, but David does a podcast too. He showed me they were doing like a podcast studio. It was in the old bank. Might have been I don't know if it was the Citizens or what, but yeah, it looks nice. So I have to make the trip to Joyce's Jewelers. Oh yeah, right by the salon. Yeah, cool dude. Yeah, David's a good dude. They do a lot of stuff with the Pirates, including Paul Skeens. They do a lot of wrestlers. I don't know how he got hooked up with the wrestlers. Pat McAfee's wedding. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff. But yeah, he's David's a cool dude. Krista's great. I met another woman because they weren't there. She kind of gave me a quick tour of the place when I stopped by. I think it was a week ago, Friday. I stopped by. I just had some time, and I was like, I need to get up there because it's really not that far. But they're good folks over there. Definitely good folks. So keep in mind Joyce's Jewelers. That would be cool to see a Norqain in person because I've never actually seen a Norqain in my life. So watch, I was always curious about it. I know Brian had a couple. I think he sold them. Him and his wife had them. But always kind of interested in seeing what other brands are doing. I know they got hot for a quick second and then just sort of died off a little bit. But I always thought they were interesting looking watches. I don't know if they were buy watches for me. What is okay? So they have Joyce's pre-owned and then previously sold pre-owned. What does that mean? That's stuff that they sold to their customers, and then those are gone. Those are gone, sir. So that's just some of the stuff that they have sold. You got a no date sub. You got a stainless deep sea. Summer blue 300M. You got that giant Oris dive watch. Some Breitlings. Oh, very cool. So yeah, I mean, I definitely have to make it out there and check that place out, because it looks like they have at least some interesting things. Some used Grand Seikos. So Henny's not carrying a Mega anymore. And one of the reasons I'm going to Cleveland to Teddy's place for this Longines show is I love Longines, but I never get hands on with very many of them. At Henny, they have they keep their Longines in a drawer. They'll pull out the 5 Longines they have if you ask nicely. Now they're nice there. There's nothing wrong with them, but it's just like, well, why are your watches in a drawer? So that's cool. You're gonna use Norqains even. If you're looking for a Gatta watch, this looks like a kind of a nice go anywhere, do anything kind of watch for $1,400. Interesting. Joyce's Jewelers. I have to check them out. Most definitely. Logan Hall says, my ID carries Norqain. Solid piece. Reminds me of Breitling in terms of build quality. Very cool. Logan, how are you enjoying the new Tudor? Very excited that you finally got it. We had talked about it a long time ago that you had put your name in for it. So when I saw that you were going to do an unboxing, I was kind of pretty sure. I didn't make any guesses because kind of fairly certain that's what you were going to be unboxing, and I didn't think it was fair because I had inside information. They had this watch on the 5 link at Lewis Anthony. It's just a bit small for my wrist. Tell them Anthony referred you. I'll have to do that when I'm looking for my next watch. It's weird because it's just, I don't know if Watches of Switzerland ever opened at Ross Park Mall. I mean, it was supposed to open this summer, and it just. He says the new Tudor is awesome. My first GMT. It's a good size for me. Yeah. It looks good on your wrist. I like that watch. A lot of people don't like that gilt and stuff. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool looking. It makes it different. The aluminum bezel gives it, with the aluminum bezel with a little bit of gilt in the bezel and on the dial and the hands, give it that a little bit of an old school look to it. It's a handsome piece. I must say. I'm really hoping next year that they do the opaline white GMT, the full size. I'm hoping that they do that in the master chronometer with the lollipop second hand and a little bit different, a little bit thinner case. I think that would be a winner. Probably a watch I would really be interested. I'd really be interested in this watch if it was in the 41. Because I actually kind of like it. I like the Tudor GMT, the Black Bay GMT. I think they're a good looking watch. I think Tudor in general does a nice job with stuff, but we've got the Tudor. Let's go over to the Tudor website. Check out some stuff here. If OC's listening, there's blood coming out of his ears right now that I said Tudor. But what are you going to do? Sometimes you got to talk about a Tudor. Who doesn't like Tudor besides OC? Let's see. Where was I? What's my page? There it is. Tudor. So they keep coming out with new stuff like this blue chrono. It's okay. I mean, the pink one's special, but here's your Black Bay GMT. But I like. I also really, really like this watch. This 41 millimeter monochrome, they called it, that they released at Watches and Wonders. I still think that's a really nice looking watch. I owned the red bezel one for a while, for a hot minute. The red just really didn't work for me for very much. Kind of get tired of it, but that's a good looking piece. In the red, it was nice, but it wasn't. But these new ones, the ones that have the master chronometer certification, they have a little bit. It's a little bit less slabby of a case. It doesn't wear quite as huge as some of the old ones. But where's the GMT? Let's get there. We go. I really like this watch. I would really like it in the new case with the lollipop second hand. This could be a purchase for me if they were to do such thing. What do we got? 19 people watching and 18 upvotes. That means a couple people have not upvoted because 2 of those upvotes are me. So, I'm just saying, just throwing it out there that we could use a couple more likes. Yeah, dear artifact, I agree. That opaline dial is really nice on that watch. They just did a really nice job with it. I am a fan of that piece. And like I said, with the lollipop second hand, so that way you only have 2 snowflake hands. 3 snowflake hands seems like a lot. Snowflake can is hard to get used to. But the white dial on that and that opaline, that it's got that almost like a silvery sheen to it, is really really nice, and it really goes well with a Pepsi style bezel, because with the blue and the red, I have always said that the white looks better. The white gold with the blue on the Rolex, the meteorite on the Rolex. I'm not a big fan of the Pepsi stainless with the black dial with the blue and the red. I actually prefer the back versions of that watch. But that being said, this is a pretty nice looking watch. But what else? There was another Tudor. Somebody was showing a Tudor that somebody on my Instagram has what I believe to be this watch. If memory serves me correctly, and it is a solid, nice looking piece. It may not be on this bracelet, I can't remember, but it was a dial similar to that. It was the standard Black Bay, and wow, they do a nice job with that. And this one in the blue with the 5-link bracelet is just really nice looking piece. I'm waiting to see if they're going to go master chronometer on all their pieces, because they do such a nice job with these watches. And that watch is what, like 4 grand, 41.25. They're all different price on the sides. So 41.25 for a really nice go anywhere, do anything watch. It's an option. I'm not saying you have to buy one, but it is an option. The other ones I always look at are the Pelagos, but I'm just not sure on the Pelagos. I like the bracelet models, but I hate all the writing on them. So let's find the new Black Bay Chronos. I mean, they do a nice job with all these things, but where is the regular Pelagos? They got a lot of watches. The other thing I do, I downsize this catalog. Diamond watches. There we go. The standard everyday garden variety Pelagos, not the 39, not the left hand drive, but just like a blue Pelagos. It's a beautiful watch. But Pelagos, chronometer, officially certified, rotary self winding, or rotor self winding, whatever it says, 500 meters, 100. It's too much. It's like a paragraph of text at the bottom here. It just really gets to be a lot. BW says, I just got my 1972 Speedy back from service. It's great. Need advice for a new bracelet? Check your email. I sent a pic. We will definitely do that. All right, guys. So BW needs some. What was it? Same one? No, that was the CW. Whoa. Boom. Check this thing out. So that is BW's 1972 Omega or Speedmaster, freshly back from service. So that bracelet looks small because you can see that doesn't seem to fit. So what was the name of that? There was a company that made interesting bracelets for Tudors and Speedmasters. Now I have to remember who they were, because I haven't looked at those in a long time. Hmm. Now, do you want a bracelet, or do you want the rubber? It was Forstner. It was Forstner. I like this. So Forstner makes different bracelets for the Speedy. They make a bullet bracelet. Oh, jeez. Let's share that tab. And I've seen a couple reviews on them, and people seem to enjoy them. Oh, he bought a Forstner. He doesn't like it. Which Forstner did you buy? I've seen some reviews where people were like, "Oh yeah, these are great." So maybe not. Maybe they were paid reviews. Who knows? Because I like these flat link ones. So it kind of looks more like a 3-2-1 kind of a deal. But let's go. How about Uncle Straps? They seem to have some Speedy bracelets. Anyone out there have any experience with some Speedmaster bracelets? I mean, you can always contact them, but they're so Omega bracelets are so expensive in general. You got the woven one, okay? Yeah, I like the flat link. Looks like this company has one. I don't know if Lucha Pippa, the pipe smoking Lucha, has any thoughts on a replacement bracelet for a Speedy.
No, because
No,
you know what? You know what? I don't care. You know
because
why?
it's a Swatch Group shitter.
Yeah, Speedies are for short people. I got no reason. No.
There you go.
Let me tell you something, Mark.
Yep.
Men should be 5'10" or above. Women 5'5" and below.
There you go.
If you're in the middle, you can go either way.
I've heard that. And in 1972, Speedy is definitely, as BW points out, pre-Swatch.
Yes. And in that case, you really should, because you're back in that era. You should go with the original bracelet for it, and don't start bastardizing it, and keep it as original as possible.
Yeah, he just got it back from service. So.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Watches? Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about watches a little bit. You know, I left out. I don't know if you heard. Father Artifact called me out on my poll. I forgot the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, well, actually, if you look at the movie, though, the Oompa Loompas aren't really that short.
Okay.
I mean, they're small, but but in the book they're just normal size. But in the movie, they kind of shrunk them and made them look weird. But
Yeah.
they kind of freak me out because they all look the same.
They're kind of orange.
Yeah.
But they got a great song.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to pick the Lollipop Guild song or the Oompa Loompa song, I'm going Oompa Loompa.
Well, I mean, Oompa Loompa is like 70s progressive rock.
Yeah.
Lollipop Kids is basically, Shirley Temple, 1930s. Can't compare them. Yeah. But, in reality, I'm going Randy Newman.
Oh, the old Short People song.
Yeah.
They got no reason.
No. Except I do feel so much taller when I'm around them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. Like I don't feel tall, but when aside from Evan G, every time I met and watch people, I feel tall.
I do like being around shorter people because they can't see my balding spot, and I can see every missed hair there they got.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind to short people. I get the stuff off the top shelf at the grocery store for them, rather than make them climb.
Well, see, those are mostly women, so you should do that because women should be 5'5" and under, and men should be, real men are 5'10" and above.
Yes, there you go. But What are you gonna do? They're there. So you're saying find a factory bracelet?
For that vintage era, yeah. Stay all original.
Yeah.
Don't, yeah. Get something that, if you want to get something just to wear it around,
Mm-hmm.
I hate that because then the bracelet, then the watch case shows more wear than the original bracelet does.
Ah. I don't. I hate that it doesn't say, like in this case, like that it wouldn't say Omega on the clasp.
What are you going to get a 19? Yeah, you're going to get a 1968 Cadillac DeVille and put spinners and lowered. Yeah, no, you're going to get you want it to look like it was
Yeah.
original.
You don't have curb feelers on your Mini?
No, I can look when I'm sitting in her. I can look up at the curb and see it. Notice I said she's a she because she's short.
Because she's a Mini.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything out there for sale. Ooh, 1365.
BW said problem with an original is that they're ultra delicate.
Mm.
It's a Speedmaster. It's not a G-Shock Mudman.
So the original was a flat link.
Yeah.
Which I think just like Deer Artifacts 321. I love that flat link bracelet on there. Or the 57 has the flat link. I think that's a good looking bracelet for that watch.
I mean, this whole discussion is why I like is why I mostly own new watches, because I love those vintage watches and I love the way I love them in all original condition, in good condition, but worn.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so fragile, and then
Very fragile.
And so, yeah, and then you're at the mercy of the repair people. And yeah, I think when you send in a vintage watch for repair, they just spin that big wheel of fortune.
Okay.
And they find out how many thousands they're going to charge you. Yeah, Mark, it's like the discounts you give at the Jeep dealership. You're just sitting in the back room going, let's spin the wheel. $50.
Well, I normally consult my Magic 8 Ball.
No dollars off, just a free duck.
Should I give them a discount? No. I bought an original Omega President bracelet. It's still sealed, and it won't look right on this watch. Fair. So you don't like the Forstner. There is the Uncle Seiko option. There are other aftermarket options. Other than that, I mean, you're like scouring eBay and stuff, trying to find the bracelet. It's tough. It's hard. He's had that thing sealed in the bag for 20 years. Damn, BW.
Well, if you ever need some vintage clean oxygen, just open the bag and breathe.
Yes. Hope the guy who packed it didn't fart, Might have to buy an Omega flat link like the one that comes on the 321. Yeah. I'm assuming it would fit. You'd have to check.
The Keebler Elves killed Busch Gardens.
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
There used to be a Busch Gardens right near me in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And it was part of the Anheuser-Busch factory that was there, and it had like 3 or 4 rides and a bird show and a boat ride and an animal show and a tram that went through the beer factory, and you could go look in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a beer garden, which I was too young to sample, but then the Anheuser-Busch bought Keebler, or somehow got involved with Keebler, and there was an expansion, and they put the Keebler plant right where the theme park was.
Oh,
yeah. And then they put a truck distribution center there too. So you could drive down that street late at night. You could smell the beer brewing. Then you could smell the Keebler elves baking their cookies and get the munchies after being out.
They weren't baking them in trees?
Shh, 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 shh.
And speaking of stuff, I need to eat a couple crackers. My sugar's a little low. Sorry.
Yeah, get your sugar up. I'll chit chat with the people. Who's here? BW, Kyle D. Yeah, Canadians are all pretty tall. Except I knew one short Canadian, and boy, he was an angry little fella.
Daniel Katz?
No, a real actual Canadian.
Ah.
Yeah. Uncle Daniel's not all that short for considering how old he is and how Jewish he is.
Okay. I've never met him. I don't know.
What kind of crackers do you use for your sugar?
Peanut butter crackers.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the protein in the peanut butter kind of levels out so you don't spike.
Yeah. I know the routine.
Oh yeah, you would know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have the peanut butter sandwich crackers in every corner of the house and a pack in every car. And
yep.
There'd be packs. At one point, my daughter ended up with like 3 or 4 packs of them at the bottom of her backpack for school, and they were just pulverized stuff. But, but listen, when blood sugar is blood sugar, it doesn't matter what shape the food is in. Just, I'd look at her and go, put it in your fucking mouth and swallow.
Yeah.
Just get it in your system.
Just get it in there, and that's what we're doing right now. Get some peanut butter crackers in. I like the toast cheese are my favorite.
Yeah, what was the brand we used to get? Shit, it's been a long time. Yeah, the toasted ones had less fat and less sodium.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't jack with your hydration as much. Right. Oh God. And then I'd also make her, have some sort of juice or a little pack of, those Smarties candies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have a half a pack of those and then start on the peanut butter crackers. So that way you had the faster sugar going in, and then the peanut butter would help sustain the sugar.
Right. So for you guys that don't know, protein, when you have carbs, if you have protein with it, instead of just getting a carb spike and then ending up quickly sometimes right back where you were, it extends it slows and extends the carb intake. So it's steady. It's easier to steady your blood sugar in a case like that. So, and then sometimes I like the Ritz. If I want something saltier, I like the Ritz peanut butter crackers too. But the go-to is the toast cheese.
Lance's crackers. That's the ones we used to get.
Okay.
Lance's toasted peanut butter sandwich crackers. The round ones, not the square ones.
Gotcha. These are, hold on. Maybe. Weird.
Lance's used to sponsor the JDRF walks, and there'd be every 100 feet there'd be a barrel with Lance crackers in it.
Oh, very cool.
And water.
Gotta have lots of water.
Yeah. And, of course, me, every time I'd walk by one of the barrels, I'd grab 2 or 3 packs and put it in a backpack. Yeah.
Yes, Lance. I get these ones, the Lance Toast Cheese. So it's a cheese cracker with peanut butter.
Yeah.
That's my normal go-to. Delicious too. And if you get the ones that are a little bit extra toasty, they're even better.
I've heard they taste better after sitting in a glove compartment of a car for a year or two as well.
Well, they're not bad that way either, I don't, they're like cockroaches. They're like the cockroaches of food. I don't think you can destroy it.
Yeah. That reminds me, I should add some of those to our hurricane supply here.
Ah, yes. That would be a key thing to have.
Yeah.
Now, did she? Obviously, you have the grandbaby. Were there any complications from the diabetes during her pregnancy, or?
Oh no, that was our son.
Oh! That's right. Yeah.
He did not have any complications.
He did not have any complications.
No.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. She, on the other hand, is engaged, but my hopes and dreams of her growing up to be an angry celibate lesbian are dashed because she's engaged to and living with a guy. So,
oh man,
I still got the angry part at least.
Still got the angry part. Oh my, let's check the poll here. We got 21 upvotes. Thank you guys. So it looks like we got 32 votes. The Lollipop Guild is still in last place with 6%. The Keebler Elves with 25%. The Leprechauns coming in with 19%. And the Watch Community with 50%. For your favorite little people faction. Well, there you have it. The people are speaking. 32 of them. How can we have 32 votes and only 21 upvotes? Doesn't seem right, Brian. Doesn't seem right.
It seems like when I upvote with my troll accounts, it cancels each other out for some reason.
Ah.
Oh, see, there you got a message.
Yeah.
That's probably the head of the Keebler Elves campaign.
It's a bunch of yeah.
Oh, today's the first Sunday, huh?
First Sunday of football, yeah.
Yeah. Can you please explain to me the new kickoff rules? Because I'm going to watch the game, but I've heard they're cocked up.
It's fucked up. So they line the guys up like 10 yards away from each other, way downfield. And then the kicker is still back at the normal place, back to the 35 or the 40. And I'm going to look it up because I know I'm going to butcher it. But you have to kick it like between the 20 and the goal line. Otherwise, it's a touchback and it comes out to is it the 30? I think it comes out to. It looks bad. It looks so dumb when you see it.
So where are the kickoff and the kick receiving teams lining up?
All right. So here is the NFL operations new dynamic kickoff rule explainer.
Oh, if you have to have a rule, an explainer, and a video and everything, two videos to forget it.
So they kick off from the 35.
The kicker's at the 35.
Kicker's at the 35, all by himself.
Okay.
The kicking team players, other than the kicker, will line up with 1 foot on the receiving team's 40-yard line.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, very far away. The receiving team lines up at the 5-yard area from the 35 to the 30. At least 9 players must be there. 7 players must be on the 35. And then there's a landing zone where the kick must go. So you can have a maximum of 2 returners. The landing zone is the area between the team's goal line and its 20. So the kick needs to fall into that space.
So the kicker's goal is to land it on the 1 and have it bounce back to the 5.
It seems like everyone's just kicking them through the end zone still, and giving them the ball at the 30. Because now instead of the 25, the penalty for not hitting the landing zone is the 30.
Remember when we were kids, it was the 20.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, why don't they just start everybody at the 40? Your ball. Here, have it at the 40.
Get rid of the play.
Yeah, just stop with kickoffs.
All right. So when the fourth quarter begins, the team trailing has the opportunity to declare an onside kick to the officials, and they would use the regular onside kick rules at that point. So there's no jeez.
There's no first, second, or third quarter onside kicks?
Nope.
So no more sleeping and dink, and then you've got the ball again.
Right. So you have to declare it, and it has to be in the fourth quarter.
When does the kickoff team, when can their non-kicking players move off of that 40? The minute the ball's kicked, or does it have to pass them?
That's the other part. That's the other part. I was looking for it in here. Okay, they cannot move until the kick has hit the ground or a player or picked up by a player in the landing zone or the end zone. So you can't move. So it's not even hang time doesn't even matter. So like you can't, you know what I mean? Like on a punt, you want to punt it high and deep so that your coverage team can get down. Well, hang time doesn't matter because your coverage team isn't allowed to move until the ball either touches the ground or is caught.
So you got 10 guys from the kicking team standing there at the 40, and you got possibly 7 to 9 guys from the receiving team sitting there standing between the 30 and the 35.
Mm-hmm.
The ball's got to go over them, hit the ground, or be touched by the returner, and then they can smash at each other.
Right. And I believe, let me read a little further here. Let's see.
I still think that if the kicker on a kickoff puts the football between the uprights, they ought to get 3 points.
Yeah. Okay, so it's short of the landing zone. The ball goes to the 40. Any kick that hits in the landing zone must be returned, though. So you can't fair catch. You have to return.
You don't need to fair catch because nobody's moving until you've got the ball in your hand.
Right.
And you're 15 yards behind them.
Right. But that used to be a play. So, like, if there were 30 seconds left and you were down by, one score and the other team just, because the other team just scored, you could make a fair catch on the ball and the clock wouldn't run.
Yeah.
So now I think the move is to kick it to the middle of the landing zone so they don't have a quick out of bounds play. You can run off, 10 seconds at least.
If the returner is in the landing zone, the ball hits the landing zone at like the 5-yard line and then rolls into the end zone, what happens?
All right, so let's see if that's covered. Landing zone is the area in between any kick that hits short of the landing zone. 40. Any kick that's in the landing zone must be returned. Any kick that hits the landing zone and then goes into the end zone must be returned or down by the receiving team, and you get the ball to 20.
Okay, but then you also stop the clock the minute it's in the end zone.
Yeah. But a kickoff is a live ball, so somebody has to grab it. Because otherwise, if the other team grabs the ball, they can't advance. You can't. Well, at least on the old kickoff rule, you could not advance it. But if nobody picked up a kickoff that was in play, it was given and was recovered by the kicking team. They got the ball.
Only if the receiving team touched it.
No, not on a kickoff. That was on a punt. On a kickoff, it was a live. Kickoffs were live balls. So if you kicked off and it bounced in the field of play or in the end zone and nobody touched it, you got the ball where the kicking team first touched it. A punt is not a live ball. A punt is turning over possession. But a kickoff was a live ball. That's why the onside kick, because it's a live ball. But it had to travel at least 10 yards.
Too complicated.
It's a lot. It looks weird. I don't know if they have a picture.
You know what I'd like to see?
What's that?
Midget football players.
There you go.
I want to go back to the lingerie football league.
Um,
And BW, the point of these changes there was too many high impact collisions on returns, and the returns, especially the last couple of years when they went with the new rules, were 9 out of 10 of them were touchbacks.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it as a play, but why is there no picture? Where is that picture about that? God, I hate these. Why? I can't believe there isn't like a. Oh, here, let's try this one. If they show the picture on this one, well, sort of. All right, so you can see here, Brian, how the guys are lined up. So the kicker though is way back at the 35. You can see the return guy. See him. This green is the landing zone. These green box.
Yeah.
And you see the returner back here, and you see all the guys lined up 5 yards away from one another. Now, I would think that the danger is.
Well, and the other real danger is you got 10 guys lining up against 9 guys. So that means somebody's running free.
Right.
And those returners are.
But they're going to have a pretty good head start because you can't move until they catch the ball. But if you break through that first line, you're gone. You just
Well,
have
all right. So then what's going to happen is some of the guys on the kick team are going to have to drag back to play free safety.
The whole thing's weird. Exactly, Harry. Can't have a contact in a contact sport.
Yeah, I mean, listen, not to get on a soapbox here. I'm not an athlete. You know, I never was, but I had a deep love of sports and understood it greatly and followed them. But policemen, firefighters, and professional and career military guys tend to have a shorter lifespan because of the stress and the stress and the physical exertion of their jobs.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I think they need to get paid more and taken care of better. But the same thing with the NFL players. They know what they're getting into. I mean, it's not like it's a surprise that this game, people get hurt.
Yeah. That's why I don't begrudge them getting their money. Get paid while you can, because these NFL careers are short. Johnny O, I agree. This new rule is deplorable. Honestly, if you're going to do this, then I would just say, okay, let's just line them up at the 25 to the 30 to start. Why even have a kickoff? And the thing is, I think what you're going to see is the same amount of touchbacks, because people, like I said, if you break the first line, the first wave, you're gone, because everybody's lined up so close to one another. So why, if you have a team that has a good return guy, why would you ever let him return? It would be like the old way, where they were kicking it through the end zone.
Well, you don't have to worry about it, because you got the kicker sitting back there in the opposite end zone where he kicked off from by himself, so he'll stop him.
Yeah, because those guys love the tackle.
One of my favorite football memories was Todd Sauerbrunn had become the punter for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Sauerbrunn, yeah.
And Sauerbrunn had a bit of a chip on his shoulder and an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And a drinking problem.
And drinking problem.
Yeah, and we all knew it. He got an unnecessary roughness call as the punter on a return.
Oh, wow.
He jacked up the punt returner out of bounds about 7 yards into the bench, and he went clear under his chin and lifted the guy up off the ground about 2 feet and then dropped him.
Damn.
When your punter gets an unnecessary roughness call, you got an angry punter.
Yes. Most definitely.
Yeah, like BW said with the jump ball, why don't they just do a rugby scrum?
Well, because you're kicking off. They want it. The whole idea. If you look at all the rules, it's designed to make the game higher scoring. The rules are all against the defense now.
Yeah,
that's 15 and 20 years. So it's designed for higher scoring games. But so they're not going to. It's not a toss up. You're literally kicking off so the other team can have a possession. Ugh. I don't know what to make of it. I watched it a few times Thursday and Friday night. And speaking of deplorable, how about those field conditions in Brazil?
I didn't get a chance to watch any of it on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. Good games, but Jordan Love got hurt for the Packers. He's going to be out. Looks like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks with some sort of MCL sprain. But the field conditions were terrible. People were falling all over the place. Terrible, terrible. I don't know, but is Carolina still your team now that you've moved?
No. I'm gonna play Switzerland here.
Okay.
Since I'm almost, I think we're an hour and a half to. Yeah, we're about an hour and a half to Tampa. We're 2.5 hours to Jacksonville, or 3 hours to Miami. Whichever team's doing better is going to be my team.
Okay. I would think Atlanta's not that far either, is it?
Oh, Atlanta's 7-8 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, not the Dirty Birds.
So you're in the Bermuda Triangle of Florida.
Yeah.
You're kind of centrally located between all the teams. There you go. I don't know. Miami has an exciting offensive team. Tampa actually played pretty well last year. Made the playoffs with what's his name at quarterback, Baker
made the
Mayfield.
made the playoffs in the shittiest division in
Yeah.
football.
Hey, somebody had to win it.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, I don't know what the Cons are doing. They just don't seem to be able to get it right. And I don't know that they paid Trevor Lawrence. I just don't know that he's the real deal. He hasn't shown anything really yet. So we shall see. Tua got a new contract too. So
The thing I like the most about football is that you don't have to pay attention all week long, and then you can watch one or two games,
yeah,
and you can get caught up on everything you need to know from the entire week.
it's true.
It's kind of like NASCAR. You watch one NASCAR race a week, you get all the juiciness.
NASCAR sucks anymore. NASCAR used to be great, and it stinks.
NASCAR's turned into NFL kickoffs.
Oh my god, these heats during the it's just the playoffs, the winning you're in. I hate it. I just hate it.
Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Don't wreck. Don't. Yeah.
Johnny O is right on the money. NASCAR is deplorable, and F1's hard to watch because it's the same one or two teams normally, and team orders and all that. I mean, it's just no touching. I think I'm going to go back to IndyCar. We're watching the IndyCars again because there's just not much.
We used to in Charlotte once a year we'd go to the Well and Modified series.
Okay.
And there was a half-mile tri-oval that was near us, and it was like $10 for the night to get in, and it was all everybody in the stands either knew somebody that was racing that day or had to run down and play pit crew for one race and then would come back, and it was real down and dirty racing, and there'd be fights in the stands because somebody pissed off somebody, and it was fun.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Cars weren't going all that fast, but they were hitting each other pretty damn good.
Yeah. And we have they renamed it Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, but when they opened it in the 80s, it was Pittsburgh Motor Speedway, PMS. Which isn't far from me. And then we have Lernerville, where the World of Outlaws and the sprint cars run. But yeah, PMS. Now it's PPMS.
When we moved to Charlotte, the speedway was Lowe's Motor Speedway because it had a naming rights thing, and then they lost the name. The naming rights thing expired, and it went back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, which was CMS.
Ah, there you go.
Which was also the name of the school district. It was the Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. So.
Very confusing. Yes.
Yeah. Especially for Southern people.
Yeah. Ooh. Did you see the PRX I showed at the beginning of the show?
No, I was slightly distracted with other stuff.
It is, Johnny, I was going to say it's deplorable, but it's a forged carbon PRX.
I love it.
Rubber strap. So it's $995. So it's almost $300 more, I think, than a regular PRX. I think a regular PRX is around $700 now.
That's the perfect price for a Swatch Group shitter.
There it is. I'm like, do we need it? I don't know. Is it cool? Kind of. I don't know.
Is that the Powermatic 80 movement?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
BW says it's made from pencil sharpenings. It's true. It could very well be true. Who knows? But yeah, so it's forged carbon. It's I don't know. I just asked, do we need that? You know, is that necessary?
Yes.
Yes, he says. Yes, it is.
Look, watches are necessary, especially as I'm sitting here in front of two computer screens that both have clocks on them. A clock straight ahead over there, a clock up on the wall, and the Amazon Lady device behind me that tells time, and
Yeah.
a mobile phone.
And a mobile phone. But when you get to $9.95 at this, does the Christopher Ward 12 at $12.95 make more sense?
They're two completely different watches.
It's hard to wrap your mind around. I didn't really see much else in the world of news that I cared about this week. Let's see if they got any more stories on there since we've been on.
Is Ben Roethlisberger back?
No, he's been retired for 3 years now. I don't know if Russell Wilson's playing though. Because he had aggravated his calf injury during training camp. Let's see if there's any updates on the Steelers quarterback. Oh, looks like Dak Prescott agreed to a deal with the Cowboys. There you go. Good for him. Get your money.
Can I? How many people are watching right now?
Probably not many. 16. You're not going to offend very many people. Go ahead.
I want to publicly admit a guilty pleasure that has to do with the Dallas Cowboys.
The cheerleaders?
I've gotten into watching that. Have you seen their TV show of how of making the team each year for the cheerleaders?
I have not.
Oh my God, it's fantastic. They go through the tryouts of all the different of all the women that show up to try out, and then they go through the training of it and the cutting of it, and they get down to the very end, and then you get the starting 35 or 36 that get to the season.
Okay.
And you get to know them, and it's guilty pleasures. Sorry.
Well, there you go.
And then I like watching the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day because they always have the bigger halftime show, and you get to see the cheerleaders out there. Don't give a shit about the football team, but that's a guilty pleasure. Sorry. I think it's on. I think the last 2 seasons are on Netflix.
Cool.
And the first 6 or 7 seasons of it were on CMT.
Well, I will tell you, I'll share this. So the girl on the right, Shane, made it to the finals. She tried out for the Carolina Panthers cheerleading squad this past year and made it to the finals. Our dear internet and social media manager, recently promoted in the last few months, salesperson. But she's a professional dancer at some point. I mean, she's young. She's probably 24, 25. Nice girl. But
I think I have a reason to buy a Jeep now.
See? Johnny O says the calendar shoot episode of the cheerleader show is great.
Yeah. There's a lot of girl crying and pain and stuff, but it's still
it's there.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Well, everyone must have one.
Yeah.
Everyone should have one.
Yeah, and then I enjoy it. Yeah, never mind.
Did you happen to catch breakfast? I made Mexican eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedicto?
Yeah.
Oh. I forgot to eat anything this morning.
Here's your reminder. So we did the guacamole, the chorizo, the eggs in the I made a chipotle hollandaise to go on top. It was good.
And to go along with your diabetes comment, I always have a protein bar when I have my bran flakes and blueberries because there's a lot of sugar in the bran flakes and blueberries, and I want the protein bar to help hold the sugar.
Smooth that out. Yep.
Yeah.
Jen G says, "Why does it not surprise me in the least that Brian watches the cheerleader show?"
I'm glad it doesn't surprise you. One of the ladies that made the team, like 3 years in a row, she works down here at Disney World as one of the Elsas in the Frozen show.
Ah, yeah, they don't get paid a lot of money.
No,
and they don't. I mean, they're not. One of the things I don't know that Shane's going to go and try again because she had to get off of her parents' medical insurance, and if she quits her job and makes the team, she would have to find a secondary job with insurance. That would be tough. But she's a good kid.
Why didn't she try out for the Steelers?
The Steelers are one of 2 teams that I believe in the NFL that do not have cheerleaders.
What?
Never.
I'm sorry. Is this thing on? Did I hear something wrong?
Yeah. Brian, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no cheerleaders.
Oh my God. What, did Terry Bradshaw scare them all away in the 70s? And
I don't think they didn't have any back then either.
No. Okay, whatever.
I think there's 2 teams. It might be the Browns, might be the other.
Well, that's okay. It's Cleveland. I mean,
which NFL teams have no cheerleading? Oh, there's actually a few. There's more than I thought. There are 8 teams. This was in 2023 without cheerleaders. The Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, Cleveland Browns, Green Bay Packers, Los Angeles Chargers, New York Giants, New York Jets, and Pittsburgh Steelers have no cheerleaders.
I'm not surprised by some of those because they're super cold weather outdoor venues. But the Chargers, they need to do whatever they can to get people to come and watch the stupid thing. And if you put some California girls in bikinis, what the? Okay,
Weird.
Okay, whatever. That's un-American. I'm sorry.
So I don't know if they've picked up, let's see, 2024. Let me see if I can find more answers. Let's see.
I got an idea, Mark. I just fixed the kickoff thing.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Thank God.
Instead of having the football players do the kickoff, you have the cheerleaders go out there and do the kickoffs, and it's all touch, no tackle, just kick the ball as far as you can, and one of the girls grabs it and runs the other way until they touch each other.
Gotcha.
That way none of the football players get hurt, and you get the cheerleaders out on the field more. And then your Pittsburgh Steelers would have to get a cheerleading team.
All right. So still those 8 teams that do not. Looks like the Giants are the only team that never had cheerleaders. And the Browns last tried in 1971.
Okay.
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers disbanded their cheer squad rather than tarnish the image of football as a family event. Wow. It doesn't say when they last had them. Let's see. Virginia Hallis McCaskey has let it be known that the Bears will not have cheerleaders as long as she owns the team, and her children, Michael and George, as well as her grandchildren, have reported plans to keep the anti-cheerleading stance when they inherit the team. More recent events, Buffalo Bills, who endorsed the officially independent Buffalo Jills from 1966 to 2013.
Okay.
Los Angeles Chargers disbanded the Charger girls on financial grounds, but this may be temporary state of affairs and they may be brought back. Weird.
And financial problems for a group of people that they paid like $20,000 a year each.
Yeah.
Why not just
Johnny O said the Bears used to have the Honey Bears. JT points out that cheering for the Browns is cruel.
And cheering for the Buffalo Bills is cruel too.
Well, you make it a third. You at least make it. To they made it to 4 Super Bowls in a row. They just happened not to win it. And 3 times, I think they got destroyed. They had the wide left game or wide right game or whatever it was, and then after that, they weren't even in any of those games. But to make it to 4 Super Bowls in a row is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Will the Chiefs be three-peat?
I'm okay if they do.
I know Double Crown would like that. As a Kansas City guy who loves his Chiefs.
And instead of the third quarter tomahawk chop thing that's now culturally insensitive, they're going to all sing haters going to hate, hate, hate.
I like it.
That's my story.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't see a lot exciting in the world of watches this week. At least not pertinent to me or what we normally talk about.
You mean in the discount shitter range?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love discount shitter. Who doesn't love a discount shitter?
Yeah.
People, do you love a discount shitter? Okay, so 34 votes, 47% say that their favorite Little People faction is the watch community. Far and away the winner. 24% for the Keebler Elves, 18% for the Leprechauns, and 12% for the Lollipop Guild. I apologize to the Oompa Loompas for leaving them out. We will end the poll.
The Oompa Loompas need a better manager.
Oh, Father Artifact came on and told me, he's like, you forgot the Oompa Loompas. I was like, sure, I did.
Like I said, they need a better manager.
Yes. That's why you can't put the Willy Wonka bars on the top shelf.
Oh. That's mean.
I know. I told you.
You're okay with it. You're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Rather than watch someone climb up a shelf, I'll grab something off the top for them. You know?
And then dangle it above their head and watch them jump up and try to get it.
Yeah, then play keep away.
Yeah. Oh, you're mean.
I know.
Terrible.
Terrible human being I am.
Yeah.
It's true. Can't help it. The terrible Lucha signal.
Uh-oh. The evil alert, evil alert.
Lord. How about they copyrighted me last week for the Mathis Open? So your favorite 3.5, 4 minute open, I can't play anymore.
Sorry.
Is what it is.
There's my thoughts.
Oh, I don't know, Brian. What do you got going on? Are you still working on your event?
Yeah, I got a lot of that this week. Today is finishing up the table assignments.
Very nice.
That's where you take. I have a list of. I have an Excel spreadsheet that is 84 separate registered table exhibitors, of which they also have some duplication. So I'm taking essentially 182 people and trying to meet all their requests of where they would like to be in the 8,000 square foot ballroom.
Now, do you have people that say, do not sit me next to these people?
These are humans. Although the request more often is, I would like to be next to this person, because then that way, if I need to go to the bathroom, they can watch my table. And I want to be with these people, or these are my friends. Yeah. But there are a few people that say, I do not want to be near this person or that person. So it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
And you just start in one. I actually do it like a puzzle, because there's edges to the ballroom, and the sides of the ballroom are the people that need electricity, because that way you don't have to run an electrical cord across the ballroom.
Okay.
So I start it like a jigsaw puzzle, where I do the edges first.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's today. I'm also researching. My wife and I had been using Princess Cruises a lot.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
And they are Princess is in the process of removing a lot of their indoor pipe and cigar smoking lounges.
Oh.
So I'm looking for an alternative cruise line.
Fair.
So that's one of the other things. That's what actually, when you first started this morning.
That's what you were doing?
Yeah, I had some jibber jabber on and I forgot. And that's why I didn't hear the beginning of whatever you were talking about, and breakfast and stupid stuff.
What do you think of the Colony renaming themselves to the Watch Community Channel?
Whatever.
I mean, Watch Community is probably a better name, but is that a veiled shot at our former overlord, or is that?
Yeah, does it matter?
I don't know. I don't know if it does.
If I look as I'm looking at it, it was just a move just for spite.
Yeah.
That's not a channel that is designed for growth into the 100,000 subscriber platform. It's just a bunch of guys that know each other, that want to hang out together and occasionally talk about the same subject.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, there you have it. Straight from the Lucha Pippa's mouth. Helderstrand is listing vintage Seikos on eBay.
There you go.
Very cool. If anybody wants to join the panel, the link is pinned, but we will drop it as well.
A link for Johnny O, so that when he comes on, I can say, "Tell them what they've won, Johnny O."
Tell them what they won. So yeah, I thought that was odd when I saw that this morning. I guess I saw it. Weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't.
George Varys, good day, sir. Good day.
Uh-oh.
George is looking at another Divathune. He's trying to see if he can't get.
George wants to watch his money disappear faster.
But yeah, I thought that I was a little confused when I saw it because I thought it was. I initially thought the other community channel had changed their icon. I was like, "Oh, that's not." Oh, wait, no. Okay, but it is a community at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Boom. There's me charging my Jeep.
Yeah, I saw that.
Very cool.
Were you watching the kilowatts tick off?
It's well, there's an app on your phone that tells you when you're charged, but it's pretty cool. Like I can go back and forth to work every day and use 0 gas.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad deal, you know?
Yeah, my wife's X5 is a plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of us having it, we were getting 15, 16 miles on just pure electric. Since we've been down here, we're down to like 13, 12.
Oh, gee. Damn.
And a lot of it's because the air conditioner has to work so hard to cool down the car.
I get 27 miles in the Wrangler. Even when it was super hot when I first took it, the air was blasting. And it's like 21 and a half miles round trip. So it's actually works out real well for me as far as driving back and forth to work.
Well, you can plug it in while you got it at work too.
Yeah, because we have a level 2 charger right out front. That's so I just plug it in and boom, off to the race.
That was my complaint with the BMW dealership. One of my complaints with them with that car was that if we brought the car, her car broke down several times.
Oh.
And the last couple of times I told them, I said, look, we're coming in to pick it up. Can you put it on the charger and at least charge it up all the way?
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't put it on the charger at all. It doesn't cost them shit to charge it for on a level 2, that small of a battery, 20 minutes. Yeah, pain in the ass people.
Rat bastards.
Communists. Probably a bunch of short people too.
Well, I was gonna say they're probably not very tall.
Yeah. There's an all electric Mini that I'm kind of interested in.
I don't know if I'm ready for all electric, but I do. The hybrid has been nice. I think I'm going out to Teddy Baldessar's store in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I heard that. I'll be back in a minute. I'm getting yelled at from downstairs.
Gotcha. Speaking of wasting money, what on my breakfast, George? No, my breakfast is delicious. I don't consider the ingredients a waste of money at all. Or are you saying on all electric or on hybrids? Again, I've got a electric cars. Yes, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the full electric. The hybrid, the gas electric hybrid actually works out pretty well because, like I said, for a trip or something, you're 25, 26, 27 miles in, and you're running on gas. But going back and forth to work, not using any gas, I can dig that. That's a savings. I'll take it. But as far as the other thing, I mentioned this at the beginning of the show for those of you who weren't here. This was my dinner last night. I had made meatballs in a pomodoro sauce and served those on top of polenta with some burrata cheese. And I still have I made all the polenta because I'm going to use some polenta to make dinner tonight. And I'll have enough to make a couple lunches. So check out the Instagram tonight if you're curious of what I made, what I served with the polenta. Chances are it was delicious, or it's going to be delicious. I do have to get to the store and pick up a bottle of wine. If I do that at the beginning of the Steeler game, I will be in the store by myself practically, which is actually kind of nice sometimes to be able to do that. But yeah, I need a nice Italian red yellow wine, maybe a Chianti or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We get some red wine to make a dish to go with my leftover polenta. And polenta is essentially fancy grits. Fancy name for grits. It's kind of the same thing. It's like a cornmeal. But the dinner, the meatballs were delicious. Sent some over to mom and my brother so they could enjoy some. And the toast, I made garlic toast out of a leftover baguette that I had. Basically threw the bread off face side down on the grill, and then with a little smear of butter on it, and then I gave it a little more butter and a little garlic powder and some Parmesan Reggiano. George says he only has 2 away teams winning this week, the Rams and the Texans. Let's take a look at the schedule.
And I'm listening. I'm just eating a protein bar.
Oh, you're good. I was eating crackers earlier. Let's see who we got here. All right, let's share this tab. We've got the Panthers at the Saints. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick the Saints there. Panthers didn't show me much. We got the Vikings at the Giants. That's an interesting game. I might actually pick the Vikings in that game. I'm just picking winners. I'm not looking at lines or anything. Steelers at the Falcons. The Falcons are my sleeper team this year. I think the Falcons might beat the Steelers. The Patriots at the Bengals. Is Jamar Chase playing? I don't think the Patriots are good enough either way. So I'll pick the Bengals. Texans at the Colts. Yeah, I would pick the Texans there. I agree with George. Cardinals at the Bills. The Bills, George's most overrated team. Cardinals, they played well last year, even when Kyler Murray was out. That new coach seems to at least have a little work ethic instilled in them. It's early in the year, so the weather shouldn't be a factor. I might pick the Cardinals in that game. Titans at the Bears. Going with the Bears. Really don't know much about the Titans this year. And Jaguars at the Dolphins. Definitely have the Dolphins there. Raiders at Chargers. Hard to pick against Harbaugh, although they lost a lot of weapons off that team. So it'll be interesting. I'm kind of interested to see the Chargers this year. I think next year and the year after are the years that you're going to truly see the Harbaugh effect there, because they did lose so many people. They had a lot of cap casualties. Had to trade away a lot of their weapons, but we shall see what's left and who's playing and how well and how he schemes them up. Broncos at the Seahawks. Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks. Cowboys at Browns. I'm definitely taking Dallas on that game. That's a 425 game in Cleveland. Especially they just re-signed Dak. I think the Cowboys will start 1-0. Commanders at the Buccaneers. Commanders have a lot of weapons, good young team, but at home, I think I'm taking Baker and the Buccaneers today, this early in the year. Jets at 49ers. Obviously, George, we're all picking the Jets. No, we're definitely picking the 49ers in the game. And Rams at Lions. Ooh, that might be the most interesting game of today's slate. Oh, tomorrow is the Jets 49ers.
Isn't that a repeat of the championship?
Yeah, the Rams are sneaky good, and the Lions are good and have drafted high for a long time, and they finally got a coach that seems to be getting something out of them. I don't know where we're going to be so far. That's a interesting game. It's a very interesting game. Matthew Stafford can definitely steal you a game. Chris, George says, fight the Jets. He also says, never trust Goff. Yeah, I kind of think the Rams may go in and win that game. I think I agree with you, George. Oh, thanks, Chris. You had a couple of dishes up there, but probably the meatball dish is what you were speaking of. That was the last one. Thank you. Although the Mexican Eggs Benedict was unbelievably good.
Huevos Benedicto.
So I kind of stole this idea from Sam, the cooking guy, who I hadn't watched in a while, and I went back and started watching him. And he was kind of a COVID. I watched him during COVID a lot. But so I went back and started watching some of his videos, and he did a version of that. And I was like, that's guacamole, chorizo, egg, hollandaise. That sounds delicious. And I'm always looking for new ideas to present to you guys. So that's what we did. So, but to go back through the games, let's see. So we already know the Chiefs Ravens. Does everybody think that guy was out of bounds at the end of that game? That was a sloppy game by both teams, I thought. As was the Packers Eagles, but they were both entertaining games. They weren't blowouts or anything. So that was good. I hope Jordan Love's okay. But I'm going with the Saints at home versus the Panthers. I think I'm going with the Vikings on the road. The Giants just don't seem like a good team. I don't know that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I'm going with the Bengals over the Patriots. Actually going to pick I think the Falcons are going to have a really good year this year. I'm picking them over my Steelers. I know.
You can't say that and be a salesman in your area.
I don't know. I can be a realist, and the realist in me says agrees with the old adage: if your team has two quarterbacks, it really has no quarterback, and we have two quarterbacks. I like the Texans over the Colts. I like the Cardinals over the Bills in an upset, or what I think is an upset. I like the Dolphins over the Jaguars. I like the Bears over the Titans. Bears added a lot. I don't know what the long-term view is for the team this year with a rookie quarterback and all the new stuff, but I think they're good enough to beat the Titans.
the Bears are going to be great in the future because they got like 17 number 1 draft picks from the Panthers for some busted down old player or something.
I think
that was a brilliant move.
Absolutely. I think this year they'll be okay. I think next year is when you're going to really see the fruits of that, where everybody has a year under their belt and everything. I like the Seahawks over the Broncos. I like the Chargers over the Raiders. And I'm very curious about the Chargers to see, what they're like this year. Because, like I said, they traded away a lot of weapons because they were up against the cap. But Harbaugh coming in will bring some stability there. And I'm interested to see what they end up like this year. I like the Cowboys on the road against the Browns. The Browns have a defense, but Deshaun Watson hasn't shown anything since that. That's another debacle of a trade that got Houston a bunch of draft picks and stuff. I like the Buccaneers versus the Commanders, although the Commanders are a team on the rise. I like the Rams over the Lions. And, of course, the Jets over the 49ers. Oh, I mean the 49ers over the Jets. JETS, Jets. Will Aaron Rodgers be able to save the end of his career? I don't know. Oh, Treble says, never, ever back against your own team. I don't know. Pittsburgh, we have a great defense. We paid more for our defense than any team in the league. But defense, whereas the old adage, defense wins championships. Well, the league has changed to an offensive league. So unless we can get the running game going, I don't even know who's playing quarterback today because they said Wilson might be hurt and Fields was taking all the first team reps most of the week. I have no idea. How's my second team Tampa looking this year? I don't think they're bad. I think Baker's a solid quarterback. He's not a superstar, but he's a solid player. He was the number 1 overall pick, and he's never played horribly. He's never exceeded anyone's expectations, but he's a tough guy. He's a raw guy. His teammates seem to like him for the most part, except in Cleveland when they wanted him out for some reason. Even though we won their first playoff game in 30 years or whatever it was, they decided to go with Deshaun Watson, who I think has been a bust in Cleveland. Hopefully he figures out his game, but he was dealing with arm soreness and stuff still. I don't know. I mean, he had all those, all those issues with the massages and the massage therapists and all that crap and the suspension, and he's just not looked like the Houston Texans Deshaun Watson since going to Cleveland. So hopefully he figures it out. Alder Strand says Tariq Hill detained by police for speeding on the way to the game. Was that true? Or was he just running really fast? Because he's really fast. JT Harry says the best defense is more offense. And that's the problem with the Steelers. They have a defensive head coach in Mike Tomlin, who I like. A lot of people in town are tired of him and want him gone, but I like Mike Tomlin. I like the consistency of the coaching. But defense, although still a part of the game, it's left the Steelers middling. The Steelers have had very good defenses. They've had Cameron Haywood, TJ Watt, and Minka Fitzpatrick, and all that really does is keep them as a middle pack team that kind of makes the playoffs. And here's our number 1 Jets fan himself, George Varghese.
Good afternoon, Mark.
George, Brian. How are you?
Oh,
hi, George.
Hi, Brian. Hey, just thought I'd hop on the NFL talk because this is like my favorite time of the year, right?
Exactly.
The hope springs
eternal in the fall. Yep.
Especially for my Niners. So here we go again.
Well, they got everybody back on the team at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
How-
this is the
Hey, George, how is Steve Young?
yeah. Yeah. Well, exactly. So we'll see how this works out. This will be the last hurrah, I have a feeling. Because
Okay.
we're going to have, I have a feeling Purdy's going to make more than, what was it, like 800,000 that he's making this year,
Yeah.
next year? Yeah. So, yeah, should be fun. So we shall see.
I think the key for the 49ers this year, more than Purdy, more than Ayuk, is keeping McCaffrey healthy again.
Yeah,
He's had some injury struggles in the past. Now, last year he played lights out almost all year, and he's dynamic, but you got to keep him on the field.
Yeah, I think Brian's Carolina Panthers just drove him to the ground,
Oh
over
yeah,
those years. Oh my God. It was horrible watching him in Carolina. They just, 30 touches, 40 touches a game and just
right.
killing his career. But yeah, they really need to find a backup to him that's actually halfway decent,
Yeah,
but they've never been able to find that person. So we'll see. Should be a good division. I actually believe it. I'm a realist. I don't even think the Niners are going to win the division.
freaking the
I
Rams.
don't think. Yeah, I'm picking the Rams to win the division. I don't think they're. I don't think the Niners are as advertised because Bosa's one more year older.
Yeah,
And Fred Warner's another year older. Their secondary's not that great. So it
Mark,
should be.
Mark, Mark, I'm a I grew up in Southern California, but I was born in San Francisco. And what George just said is the equivalent of somebody from Pittsburgh rooting for the Eagles.
wow.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
we don't really care about the Eagles because they're in a different division. It's the oh shit. Okay, so two things. So Hill was detained by police for a driving violation on the way to the stadium, and according to ESPN, Steelers Justin Fields to start with Russell Wilson injured.
And did you hear that Dak Prescott just signed an
I
extension?
saw that. Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Good for them. A quarterback as I will tell you, and George, you know this to a certain extent because the 49ers went through quite a few before Purdy. That was almost like luck that guy. You know what I mean? Because he's he's Mr. Irrelevant. But finding a quarterback in this league that can win games is tough. Like when the last few years of Ben's career, when his arm didn't have it anymore, it was hard to watch. And then they bring in Trubisky and Pickett and now Fields and Wills. It's hard. You're always so if you have a quarterback like Dallas had Dak Prescott, I don't know why they didn't sign him a year ago. It probably would have been cheaper.
Yeah. Oh well. I have like half of my staff are Cowboys fans.
You need to fire them.
Oh God, it's like it's horrible. All they talk about, they're all from Texas or they have family in Texas, and all they talk about are the Cowboys. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think, am I correct to assume, and I have to look at the dates, but I think the Niners versus the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys have had 34 years since their last championship, and I think the Niners are 33. Am I correct, or is it the other way around?
Wait, what was that?
When was the last time the Cowboys won a championship? Was it 95, 94?
I think it was against the Steelers in 95.
Okay, and then that means that the last championship the Niners won was 94.
Yeah.
So they're 1 year. So I have nothing to talk about. Yeah.
Oh, hopefully they get you one this year. So here, breaking news: Justin Fields will start. Wilson took the field 10:30 a.m. Was thrown for about 15 minutes and moved slowly through the warm up, and went back out. talked to Omar Khan, the Khan man, our general manager, and looks like Fields will be starting, which I'm in favor of the two. It's nothing against Russell Wilson. I just think Fields brings something better. JT Harry says it's the other way. I thought the Cowboys beat the Steelers in '95. I thought that was their last one. That was the Barry Switzer Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think he's talking about when I thought the Niners won.
Oh, okay.
The earlier year.
Yeah, because then the Steelers went to 3 more Super Bowls after that. They beat Seattle, they beat Arizona, and they lost to Green Bay.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mark, because I know that the Niners haven't won anything of consequence in 30 some odd years.
Yeah, JT says
years,
longer for the Niners. They went to 2. Yeah. They went to 2, right?
No, they went to 3.
Oh, they went to 3 after that.
Yeah, they lost
3
when Harbaugh was coaching them against the Ravens. Remember that one?
Oh, I forgot about the Harbaugh Bowl.
Yeah, when lights went out, and so did the lights went out, and so did the Niners.
Yeah. Actually, I thought they came back after the lights went out. I thought they were getting beat pretty good.
Yeah, they still lost. It doesn't matter. Well, anyways, right. Brian, what have you been up to?
Busy. Yeah. I had family in town last week for 4 days. My event's coming up in 5 weeks. Just busy. Lots of little things going on in different directions.
Did you guys watch any of the college games yesterday? Did you see Notre Dame?
Wow. So I worked, and my boss, my boss was sick. I had a salesman whose father had injured himself, and a guy on vacation. We were really shorthanded, so I didn't even get to go to the step out walk. I had them grab me a T-shirt and stuff and put it aside, but I had to be there in the morning, and I was watching during the day, just couldn't believe that Penn State for most of the game was losing to Bowling Green, and they finally pulled that game out and won. I was like, my God, they look so good against a better team in West Virginia, and they just laid an egg, especially the first half of that game. At least the second half, they only gave up 3 points. The defense finally came back, but the Notre Dame game was, they were supposed to be something this year.
Yeah, I think the line on the Notre Dame game was like Notre Dame by 28.
I was going to say it was in the high 20s, I thought.
Yeah. I love homing in on those games where the spread is so high, because it's almost impossible for a team, unless if you're like a Division 3 school going up against a Division 1 school or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To be that bad.
And nobody, Georgia looked good, but nobody looked great yesterday. Alabama took them to get running.
Oregon looked horrible.
Yeah, it was a weird week.
Yeah.
Treble says he once went, Wisconsin's a good place to see a game. So I love college football. I prefer to go in person. I prefer to go to a college football game over a pro game. He went to Duke versus Wisconsin. Not a clue if either of them are any good. Yeah, Wisconsin's usually a pretty decent team, but the atmosphere at a college football game is just amazing, and the crowds. Like you go to a Steeler game, there's 68,000 people there. Most of them are drunk. It's a hassle. You go to a Penn State game and there's 108,000 people there, and it's in the bands and the hoopla and I don't know. There's just something about it, you know.
I went to it. Go ahead.
I had two kids that went through college, and I had to go to plenty of college football games. One, because one of my daughter was in the marching band for 4 years at East Carolina.
Okay.
I am so done with college football. I can't. I'll watch the bowl games when they're on.
Yeah.
I remember going to an SEC game when Florida in Gainesville.
Okay.
And because my brother-in-law went to Florida for undergrad and law school, and so I was visiting them in Tampa, and we went to a game, and it was with Tim Tebow was the quarterback, and they played Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
100,000 people showed up. It was like 38-0 at halftime. I don't even think Vanderbilt crossed like their own 40-yard line at one time in the first half, and nobody left.
Yeah.
It's a good. I like college football. I like the atmosphere. I like the big game. You know, the pomp and the excitement, and the kids bring a certain amount of energy. I just think it's fun.
Mark, you just like the college girls. Face the facts. Come on.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Come on,
Mark.
Brian.
George, it's okay if you like the college boys. We're still okay with you.
Let's see. So Georgia won big. Ohio State won big over Western Michigan. Michigan got torched by Texas. Alabama, it took them a while to get going. Yeah, they scored 28 in the fourth. Notre Dame losing. Ole Miss killed Middle Tennessee. Oregon, that was surprising that game was that close. Although Boise State always seems to have a sneaky good team.
And the funny thing about Oregon was they played the University of Idaho last week, and they barely beat
them. Yeah. Penn State took them a long time to stop Bowling Green. That was odd because the defense is normally the best part of that team. Missouri won big. Utah won big. Miami. I think Miami might be back. Miami might be the ACC. They're still in the ACC, right? Or did they move? I can't remember. Everybody moves. I can't remember anymore. But Miami may be a team. USC looks good.
I used to go to Columbus, Ohio once a year in the middle of August for an annual pipe and tobacco event. And the first or second year that my son went to Appalachian State, I happened to be flying into Columbus wearing an Appalachian State polo shirt that was just nice and comfortable for travel, and it looked good. And I didn't have anything really to do that day. I just had to travel and fly, and I always like to look a little nicer than a tourist on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
I got off that plane.
Oh, they hated that.
No. The people from Columbus, Ohio.
They beat Michigan.
Yeah, it was 2 years to the day after they had beat Michigan.
That's right.
So I'm walking around Columbus, Ohio, and I got people coming up and go, "Oh, you're from Appalachia? Oh, great, man! Come on, let me buy you a beer. Oh, yeah." From that point on, every time I went to Columbus, I always made sure I had one of the App State shirts on. Free
That's
drinks.
Great. Yeah, they beat Michigan, and people went nuts for Appalachian State.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah.
It was
good to see Sean in the chat. Good morning, Mark, George, and Brian. Nice surprise to see you all on. Yes. Well, the people voted, Sean, and I had to come back on. They voted against my immortal soul and going to church, and for me doing the live stream.
Mark, I'm an ordained minister at the Universal Life Church, so you're covered.
I'm covered.
Yeah.
Treble says, I'm pretty sure it was a bowl game I went to, but I will be honest and say I have no idea what that means. Yeah. Bowl games are different than they used to be. It used to be that it was a a real privilege to go to a bowl game because you had to be one of the top, 20 teams in the country. Now there's so many bowl games, and then you have bowl games that are playoff games, and who knows what's happening this year with all the playoffs. It's just too much.
Now I think if you're in one of the I think you just have to have a winning record now.
Yeah, pretty much to go to
a bowl game.
You can be 500 and you go to a bowl game. So my arch nemesis, the Pitt Panthers, were down by 21 to Cincinnati and won that game. I was shocked. Somebody told me they won. I was like, what? They were down by 21 last I checked. Oops. So, George, I'm going to ask your opinion here because I really like the Vikings over the Giants.
You realize the Vikings don't have a quarterback, right?
Yeah, but neither do the Giants.
Yeah, but the Giants at least have a quarterback that can maybe throw 3 yards.
They got Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think the problem is like with all these teams, like for example, your Steelers, when you get players like Justin Fields on their team, you need to have a really good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you need a game plan for
that. Yeah, you need to have a good offensive coordinator. And if you look at like Shanahan in San Francisco or McVay, right? I mean, they've had all these quarterbacks that have come through there that have gotten pretty good contracts. Like you're talking about Sam Darnold, right? And you're talking about Mayfield in Tampa, and they just get contracts because they play in a system that they know how to coach. And when you get players that go to these teams, like look at the Jets, it's just been so pathetic when it comes to the quarterback situation. It's where careers go to die.
So Tyreek Hill detained by police Sunday outside Hard Rock Stadium for a driving violation, but was released from custody, the team announced. Hill was seen on video posted to social media face down as officers placed his hands behind his back and put him in handcuffs. That's no way to start.
Damn.
So he must have been flying.
Well, they
must have been betting against the Dolphins.
I mean, he could have easily outrun them, so they had to do something to make sure he stayed them.
That's crazy.
This is all Mathis's fault. You know that, right?
We blame Mathis.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, they're home, right? Yeah. Hard Rock.
They're playing the Jaguars, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're. Let's see. Where are they at? I lost them.
So I think I have to root for the Jaguars in that one because I think one of the Jaguars wide receivers played at East Carolina when my daughter was there.
Ah, there you go.
I'm also the one that goes to the racetrack and picks the horse based off of how pretty the tail is. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Granting the desire of the masses will cost you the entry ticket to heaven. Fair trade, no? O'Brien said he's got me covered, Sean.
Sean,
good to see Sean in the chats.
Yeah, Sean. Mark sells Jeeps, so if he can't get to heaven, he can at least drive there.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the West Virginia is only like 20 minutes down the road, so that's almost heaven, right?
Yeah, but you got to take out your teeth and cut off your IQ in half.
I hate when that happens. Oh, man. Treble says 90% of the experts in the UK have the 49ers to win the Super Bowl this year, George.
Yeah, well. I'll take great console in that.
Yes.
They said the same thing last year.
Yeah.
And the year before that.
And Mark, if you went to West Virginia, I know you love your mother, but not in that way.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't have a sister, so I had to go to Penn State. A lot of my friends went to WVU. They were all mad at me last week because not only did Penn State rough up the Mountaineers, I pointed out to them because it's probably the last time they'll play for 20 years. But I pointed out to them that because they're all like, it's a rivalry game. They should still play. And I said, it's really not a rivalry. Penn State's overall record versus West Virginia is 50 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties. That a rivalry does not make.
The last time I had my mini over 100 miles an hour was in West Virginia.
Oh, there you go. We were trying to get out.
No, just having fun in the mountains.
I've driven through West Virginia many times when I lived in Kentucky when I used to visit family in Maryland.
Yes.
The only thing I remember was like when you drove through through West Virginia, it was basically everything was Robert C. Byrd.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Right.
Forever.
Everything was Robert C. Byrd Highway, Robert C. Byrd this, Robert C. Byrd that.
Robert C. Byrd, local Klan.
Yes.
Wasn't he a Klansman?
He was an ex-Klansman.
Yeah.
You know, he was famous because he used to carry a pocketbook of the Constitution in his three-piece suit that he used to wear in the Senate. You know, and he got a lot of pork for West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And back in those days, West Virginia was solid Democrat. I mean, like solid.
Dixiecrat.
Yeah.
That was Union. That was the unions.
Well, remember West Virginia wasn't established until they refused to secede from the Union with that bulk of Virginia.
Right.
Yeah. I believe he was like a senator for some 50 years or so, something.
Oh, a long time. Yeah.
Crazy like that. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I think he might have signed the Declaration of Independence and the and declared war in World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible. It's definitely possible. He was he was around for a long time. And of course, in West Virginia being so close, we got a lot of Robert C. Byrd news over here. But I don't know.
Interesting character, that's for sure.
That it is. That he is. So what's your big upset game of the week, George?
Upset game of the week. I don't know if you'd call it an upset, but I've got my two away teams. You know, at least I would say the Rams for sure. I've got the Rams beating the Lions. And if I had to put a gun to my head, I would say take the gun away from my head first, but I would probably pick, it guts me to say this, but I have a feeling, just a bad feeling, that the Jets might steamroll the Niners.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm a realist, and I just think it's like, you know, Rodgers coming back home. That defense of the Jets is real good.
Yeah, it is.
Real good, even without, Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
And that's my two upset, if you call them upsets. Because, any team that Aaron Rodgers is on is really, I don't know how you can consider an upset.
Right. It'd just be interesting to see how well he plays. I mean, he's old.
But he still can sling it.
Yeah. If he can still sling it and his leg is good, they got a chance. It's tough though. San Francisco's really good. I think they're a better coached team, far and away.
Oh, by far.
You know, my big upset. I guess it's not. I don't even know. Let me check to see what the line is. I have Dallas going to Cleveland and winning.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but I was just
especially they just signed everybody, so they should be happy. They should be. And Dallas is 2.5-point favorite, so I guess that wouldn't be an upset.
The Cleveland's defense is good too.
Yeah, it is. Or no, Cleveland's 2.5-point favorites. I'm sorry, Cleveland 2.5.
Oh,
but Dallas is an interesting team. They're going to have to throw the ball because I don't think they have any running game to speak of. But I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's done anything since going to Cleveland. I mean, that trade is worse than the Bears and Carolina trade.
Yeah.
And they signed him to a guarantee. He's got the only guaranteed contract in football right now, and it's huge.
That's crazy. That I couldn't believe.
He hasn't done anything. I mean, really hasn't done anything. He's had a couple good quarters. I mean, you can't even really say he's had good games. You know what I mean? Like it's really been a whole lot of nothing, and a whole lot of headache for the team for bringing him in the first place, because it really tore the fan base apart because of what he was accused of. It was bad on many levels.
Well, this is the problem in the NFL. There's just not a lot of really good talent at the QB position for some reason. And it's like, the Niners got lucky getting Mr. Irrelevant, but that's like, yeah, come on. But overall, it's like you look in the league and the teams that consistently win, or at least have a chance to win, all have good quarterback play. And if you don't have good you can have the best defense, the best O-line, but if you don't have a damn quarterback to throw the ball, you're screwed.
Yeah. And that's it's hard. It's hard to process at that speed the game. And
that's what I don't have to root for Jacksonville, because that wide receiver is now on the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, there you go. Go Cardinals.
I don't care.
Yeah. You have 3 teams.
Did you watch college football game day yesterday? You know what was weird about that was seeing Coach Saban on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at these teams and saying, I could coach better than this guy. He's thinking that in his mind, right? I'm just touring the college scene right now to pick my next destination.
How weird is it to have Coach Saban and Belichick out doing TV?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Belichick, I don't think anybody really wants.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I don't see it, but I can see like my brother-in-law was texting me and he was like saying, Florida it'd be perfect landing spot for Coach Saban.
Yeah.
Back in the SEC, the history there with of winning, and I'm like, well, and they have the money to do it. So.
Yeah.
But I think he's just doing his rounds this year just to kind of get a feel for what's out there, and then
I think
his
also,
spot, right?
I don't know with him, because he actually retired. Belichick got fired. Belichick wants back in bad, but Saban actually retired, and he retired from one of the most storied universities you could be the coach at, and he retired because he didn't like all the new rules, and he had real reasons why he was like, look, I think I'm out, the NIL money.
I remember when he won a national championship at LSU, right? You remember?
LSU, yeah.
Yeah, and he got the itch and obviously moved to Alabama, but you never know. You don't know, right?
You never know. But Alabama's one of the jobs. LSU's a good job. It's not Alabama. You know,
We'll see. But yeah. And then Tom Brady's calling. I think Tom Brady's calling the Cowboys Browns game today, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he?
well, how about all the hullabaloo with him and that?
Yeah. Right.
But they don't want him in the team meetings because he's going to be he's trying to be partial owner of the Raiders, and they're
Right.
So you wonder how that's all going to play out. That he's not allowed, to do a lot of his research.
Speaking of the Raiders, and you talk about Belichick, right? All of his coaching tree has just been awful.
Well, yeah.
Every one of them has been awful. And why Josh McDaniel still has a job? He's been he's long gone.
Yeah.
I thought he was still with the Raiders, but he's been fired.
Oh, he
so
got
I don't
fired.
think there is any. Are there any current Dayball? Right? Isn't he? Wasn't no? He wasn't with Belichick. He was up in Bills. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not a single person from his lineage in the NFL. And then you look at like Shanahan and you look at McVay, and there's a whole bunch of them spread everywhere.
That's that's those guys. You can't move into an organization and act like you're Bill Belichick just because you coach.
Right.
Is the problem. And Bill Belichick defensively may be the you can talk about him as a head coach, in the Super Bowls and stuff, but as a defensive mind, probably the best ever.
No doubt.
Like a guy could game plan a defense like no one. That's, but there's other guys, they can never fall in. And that whole Josh McDaniel thing was just,
what a disaster.
Both of his stops were disasters.
Yeah.
You can't.
And Mike Patricia, remember him in Detroit?
Matt Patricia, terrible. Who was Joe Judge with the Giants? Joe Judge with the Giants was an abomination.
Right. And then Brian Flores, right? Wasn't he with the Dolphins?
Yeah. He's a DC in Minnesota now, I think.
Yeah.
Because he spent a year as a associate head coach with the Steelers after all that went down. Yeah. Tolman hired him, and now I believe he's the DC at Minnesota.
Well, anyways, I got to go do some shopping. My wife is out of town, and so it's just basically me and the son. And there's like nothing in the refrigerator for us for Super Bowl. I was going to say
Super Bowl.
Super Sunday. I call it Super Sunday.
There you go. Go to Costco and get some meatloaf.
Yeah, actually, I'm planning on if they have the stuffed bell peppers. I'm going to be doing that maybe. So
very nice.
That's about it. I was going to ask what you guys thought of the Geneva days, the watches that came out, the new ones. I thought some. Yeah,
I've got a watch move that I'm ready to do, and George, you'll love this. I've got the two. I got the two Tudors. I got the pink chronograph and the black Bay 58 GMT. I'm going to sell all my other watches and buy one of everything in the Tudor catalog.
Oh, there you go. And then you'll have 75 watches.
Yeah.
Well, at least Brian wasn't going to say Omegas. Or even worse, IWCs. Sorry, Brian. I know you still own the Patronus one.
Yeah.
Do you still own the Patronus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, he's going to trade that in on an aqua timer.
An aqua timer with 5 crowns on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking actually the other day. Where was it? I can't remember what website it was, but they had a data graph on their platinum sub $68,000. Full box and papers with the recent service, like in 2023 service.
Yeah. Nice.
And I was like kind of shocked. I was like, whoa, because I think the MSRP on something like that brand new is like well over $110,000.
Yeah. Crazy money for a watch.
Yeah.
But 68, that's a significant. What? How old was it?
I think it was a 2019, but it was serviced in 2023.
So it's really not even that old, and it has a service.
No.
That's a deal.
Right. It looked pretty good. So
interesting.
Actually, I'm at 11 watches in my 12. I have 2 6-watch boxes. I'm at 11 watches in there, and I'm trying to figure out the 12th one to add, or do I go down to 6?
Brian, have you ever owned a Longa before?
Yeah, I had the Saxonia Moon Phase Big Date in the honey, the honey rose gold.
Do you still own that, or did you get rid of that?
I got rid of that in the Great Purge of leather straps.
Okay.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with that watch, except it was on a leather strap.
Understood.
And as sweaty as I get here, I wouldn't be able to wear it out of the house.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where my eyes are leading me towards. I just think the Longa market is pretty much dead as a door. Other than the Odysseus line, the datagraphs are pretty cheap. I think European Watch Co. had a Zeitwerk. It was pretty reasonable, but I'm like, when you're comparing the Zeitwerk in terms of pricing to the Datagraph, and it's about the same price, kind of fall towards the Datagraph.
Makes sense.
I saw there was an Odysseus, a white gold Odysseus for 48 recently, and that was tempting.
Yeah, Odysseus and all these, they've all come down quite a bit. That's for sure.
What's up, Pawan? Yeah,
the only thing that's dropping faster is Debethune.
Oh, low blow.
Ouch. Oh, wow.
Besides meeting Dr. Bob in Vegas, getting a chance to stare at George's watch up close was the other highlight.
Very nice.
That watch just has it's just so much depth to that dial.
Is that the Stradivarius?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful watch. Although his new one, what's the new one called, George?
The DB28XP.
That watch is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that watch.
George, my Chopek that I sold the European Watch is back at European Watch for less than they bought it from me.
Oh, geez.
So I was halfway tempted to buy it back.
Oh, geez. Have you ever done that, Brian? Have you ever, out of curiosity, because I consider you one of the better collectors in our community, if not one of the top. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever sold a watch and then like a year or two later bought it back?
I have not done that yet. But notice I said yet.
Yet.
Right.
European Watch had the JLC Reverso that I sold them, or the exact same model. And they had it again for just about what I sold it to them for, and I almost bought it just to have it back again. I've almost bought a root beer again, just because I wanted it and I miss it. What else have I looked at? There's a couple of the two Pateks that I've owned and got rid of. I want both of them back, but I can't afford to have both of them back.
Okay.
I think that this watch prices, they continue to fall. It just makes me think there's so much inventory being sold, and there's like, what's going to cause the prices to rise? I can't think of anything that's going to immediately cause the prices of these watches to rise, to be honest
Oh
with
no,
you.
absolutely not.
I
Not
can't
me.
think of, I
State
just
of the
can't think of
economy
a
we're in.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That's-
mean, even if the Fed goes through a cutting cycle and they start lowering rates and everything else, I'm just kind of curious. Would that make people rush to buy watches again?
I don't think so, because people have seen that it's fleeting
Right.
as an investment.
The only thing that I think that will bump the watch market back up again is another, it would have to be a fairly broad scale news source that says, hey, you got screwed for a couple of years, but now it's time to come back in and get even.
Yeah.
And you get all those people that were interested in watches and got burned out on the market and got burned on it. And you get maybe 20 or 30% of those people that come back in and say, damn, look at the deals I can get now. Yeah, I'll buy a few.
And Brian, I always thought it was basically a Chinese issue where the Chinese economy is so bad, right?
Yeah.
And they're just not buying luxury watches in general. And as such, the market is where it's at. That's what I was always under the assumption, because back in the day, it used to be like the Chinese, they would go to Hong Kong and buy up Rolexes, et cetera, Pateks and Vacherons. And now all of a sudden they're not buying anymore.
Yeah, it hurt when the British did Brexit and did not put in a VAT redemption process. It almost killed their international sales of Chinese coming to England and buying shit and then getting the 18 to 20% back on the way out.
Oh yeah. And I remember I was talking to go ahead.
No, the other thing that happened at the same time as the watch market bubbled and bursted was, I think there was a lot of Russian, Eastern European oligarch money that was getting out of Russia as quick as possible and was being laundered through watches and through crypto. And then the minute that war with the Ukraine started, that was about the same day the watch market, the bubble burst.
Yeah.
Because that money couldn't move anymore.
True. Logan Hall says, good to see you on the panel, George.
Hey, Logan.
What about me, Logan? What about me?
Hey, Brian, I was on a European Watch Co. They had an Antarctique, and they were asking 15.3, and it's sale pending.
Is that the
blue dial?
Oh, the deep blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2023. They were asking 15.3. So, they probably took about 14. They probably paid 10.
Yeah. Well, I know I could get I know that's my exact watch that's on there right now. Because how many of those 20 of them do you think they're going to get?
Exactly.
And they've got it at 15.6, so I could probably get it at 14.5. And I think they gave me 15.5 for it.
Oh, wow. So Speedy Hernandez says he considers Brian one of the mediocrest collectors in the community, but he considers himself the worst. The good news in this is that I just moved up a space because I was the worst. So I just moved up.
I don't even consider myself a collector. I consider myself an informed consumer.
I consider myself a bad connoisseur.
Yeah.
Tap says the Chopek will be going for 10K soon.
Quite possible.
I haven't seen them come down much in the last 6 months, 8 months. So I don't know. The only thing I'm holding on to money for is there's a possibility of an Aquanaut or something like that coming down the road. So
I thought you were going to say Aqua Timer.
No, I already had an Aqua Timer once, and that's not one I want to go back to.
Oh man,
I know.
It hurts when you say
Speedy Hernandez is on a roll today.
Yeah. I'll consider Brian the father-in-law and that we never talk.
Yeah. And I'm not giving
Brian,
you
are you
your
gonna
allowance.
Brian, are you going to go to the watch time meeting?
No, I'm grounded here because of everything going on.
How about you, Lucha? Are you going?
Nah, I'm not going. I'd rather just sit on here and chat with people than have to meet them in person.
And George, honestly, I looked at it. We've got more work that has to be done on this house than what we wanted to do initially. But in order to go to Watch Time New York, for me to do it the right way for 4 days, that's a couple $1,000. And for $4,000, my wife and I are going on a 10-day cruise.
Yeah.
And that's food, drinks, and everything included. So what would I rather do? A couple $1,000 for 4 days in New York, or $4,000 for 10 days on a cruise ship?
Fair point. Which Aquanaut are you interested in? Mr. Ghost wants to know, Brian.
I would really like the travel.
Okay.
Yeah. Or the day date, but that's not going to happen. I'd really like I'd like the Nautilus 5990, but that's not going to happen either.
Logan, are you going to Watch Time? Are you my arch chef nemesis? I would love to meet Logan Hall.
Logan's great.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Mm-hmm. And a great cook. I love watching his stuff.
It's almost worth the trip to go to Nashville just to have him cook for you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm always cooking. I always have,
Right.
all the holidays, all the stuff. Everyone comes to Lucha for food. It'd be nice to have someone cook something for me. It never happens.
Well, it's almost time for kickoff, which means I'm going to have to bid adieu to both of you fine gentlemen.
Yes.
Brian, it's always an honor to be on the stream with you, my friend.
Thank you. And my teeth did not hurt while you were here.
Hope just your pocketbook, right, Brian?
That didn't even hurt either. I was busy doing stuff.
Nice. And Lucha, have a great rest of your stream.
George,
hopefully the Steelers will have a good season, because it kind of it's always more fun when there's like certain teams like in the NFL, when they're like doing well, the NFL is more fun to watch, and I always love when the Steelers are, those Pittsburgh, Baltimore games are like epic,
Yeah, those are great games.
Great games. Even when the Steelers were not that good, you knew like when you were watching it, it's going to be like, helmet to helmet, collision to collision, right?
It's going to be a tough game. And I think Steelers are, what are they like? They've beaten them a bunch here in the last few years, like 5-1 or something against them.
Yeah,
something. Yeah, but
anyways, I got to get going. So have a great rest of your stream. To everyone in the chats, have a great Sunday, and go Niners.
Go Niners. All right, George, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, I got to get running too.
Yeah, me too. It's almost game time. Logan reminding us that he wants the Titans to beat the Bears. And Speedy says, I'm a Lions fan, so I know the pain of an abused spouse constantly making excuses for their abuser. They went to the championship game last year. We'll see how they play this year. I kind of got the Rams today, though. But what are you going to do? Johnny O says, "Go Bears, beat the Titans." Uh-oh, Johnny O and Logan Hall are about to face off.
Throw down.
Throw down. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't hit the upvote button, we do appreciate it. Where are we at on our upvote count? We are at 27. So if we get to 30, that'd be awesome. If there's 3 people who haven't hit the upvote, I always appreciate that. And then we've got NFL football coming up here in just a couple minutes. We'll see how Justin Fields does as the last-second emergency starter, I guess, for the Steelers. And hopefully your team wins. And we'll come back and do it all again on Sunday. We may do an evening show this week just to see what's going on. So, Brian, you got anything before we head on out?
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy some
Hurry up.
football.
Hurry up and push the 9-minute outro video.
Nah, it's just going to be 35 seconds.